We are live. Welcome to LightSaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show on the web. And today, get ready to be transported to a galaxy far, far away as we discuss Star Wars Vision Season 2 and take another exhilarating journey through its mind-blowing moments, because a lot of stuff's been going on. Join us as we dive deep into the stunning world of groundbreaking animation. From jaw-dropping battles and unexpected plot twists, we leave no stone unturned in this thrilling exploration, unveiling hidden details, uncovering epic alliances, and unveiling the secrets behind the awe-inspiring animation and vision. This sounded a lot better.
Well, hello there. Joined us today.
So stay tuned to us, and stay tuned because we're gonna have a little bit of analysis. And it's kind of fucked up because CJ's internet been out. Some fucking idiot hit it with a tractor, hit like the main fucking satellite dish and shit.
From Hicktown.
Up everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole fucking city didn't have no fucking internet, so he couldn't watch Vision, which I don't know why he didn't watch it on his phone. But
you know what?
It's going to be kind of interesting as we dive into this, because there's some shit in these fucking episodes that you might not have expected. So we're going to be definitely discussing it. But before we get to all that, gotta drop that intro.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned in to LightSaber Radio. If you only knew the power of God's.
Here it comes. Let's go.
You are now tuned in to LightSaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Got LightSaber. I mean, we got Star Wars team leader in the chat. We only got like 2 people watching this shit. What the hell? Fucking
Okay.
YouTube is fucking up. They just redid everything. The fucking, and it's like screwing with it. I'm like talking to people that are hitting me up, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? I haven't got no notification. Like, is your bell notification on? Like, I get the notifications. And they're like, yeah, all my shit is on, and I'm not getting fucking thing. One guy told me, he was like, I didn't even know y'all still existed. And I was like, what do you mean, man? We got like 200 episodes out already. What are you talking about? He was like, dude, I haven't got nothing. I didn't even know. I can't even find y'all on YouTube. I was like, really? So I went and looked. I typed it in on another fucking server, and that shit said that we didn't even exist. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with YouTube. Yeah, it said we didn't even exist. Like, I put in LightSaber Radio, it didn't even come up. I was like, what the fuck? So, like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with fucking YouTube, but they're fucking up. But
We're getting shadow banned.
All right, but
I wouldn't be surprised.
we were shadow banned because we cussed too much or something. We talked
All this
about
shit.
inappropriate shit or something. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it
Well,
doesn't matter. We're still gonna
YouTube
be
needs to
here.
get the fuck over it. You know who needs to buy YouTube? Elon Musk.
Yes.
See, Elon Musk is stepping down from CEO. He's putting that one chick. I guess she's fucking like she don't fuck around. Like, she is like a super fucking truth seeker. So it's gonna be crazy to see what she does.
We will see.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, it's fucking crazy. But it's, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, I see why he bought it, because he was like, this is bullshit what they were doing. So I'm just going to buy the company, and then that way they can't do the shit. And it's not like he don't have the money. But it's like, dude, you don't have the time to run Twitter.
With all the shit he's trying to, like, go to Mars. Like, you think you have time to build Twitter?
Like, he's trying to make real Star Wars, you know, for real.
Like, goddamn.
And you don't have, like, dude, he's running Tesla. They coming out with fucking new cars and everything. He's trying to redo the entire Earth. He's figuring out how to make power plants that will run off of fucking, that are like reusable electricity. This electricity will go out and then come back to the power plant and be reused. So it's just a constant circle. It's like a constant circle breaker, or a cycle of used energy becomes new energy, and it just keeps recycling itself, which is freaking brilliant if he can figure it out. which I won't ever put him down.
It's sci-fi is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's some. Well, hey man, there's a lot of shit and there's a lot of scientists.
That's crazy.
And a lot of theories out there of ways to get this shit to work. So, and Elon is brilliant. That dude, he's brilliant. He works with some of the most brilliant people on the fucking planet. So, if anybody can figure it out, they'll figure it out. If they can figure it out, I don't know why we ain't using nuclear. Like, dude, there's been like
we're using nuclear.
Right
we
now,
have nuclear.
We're like freaking cavemen. We're still burning coal to make electricity and shit. like we've been doing that shit for 200 years. Why are we still using the same dumbass thing? We can talk. Right now, we're on a fucking screen talking to each other. Clear across the country, people from all over the world can see this shit, but we can't figure out how to make some better electricity than pumping coal into a giant power plant. You know what I'm saying? To power cars, and the carbon from the coal is making more fucking pollution than the actual cars that are burning gas. So you know what I'm saying? It's just dumb. Like we ain't smarter than this by now. But hey, I was listening to a guy on Joe Rogan not too long ago. Man, this dude. Like if they come up with this, it's supposed to be like it's an atom computer. So it's a computer instead of using like digital, it'll be using atoms, and that shit'll make all the computers and shit that we have now just look stupid.
What the fuck? Yeah. I need to listen to some Joe Rogan. They're talking about some crazy shit.
That's when his comedian friends and all of them get on there. I barely ever listen to that shit when they do the fighter fucking shit. I barely ever listen to that shit, even though I love fighting, and I fought when I was younger. But and some of the comedians, just depending on who the comedian. Like, yeah, Pauly Shore on there. I listen to that shit. Pauly Shore is hilarious.
Tori didn't know who Pauly Shore was. I was like, Encino Man.
But like he gets a lot of scientists and a lot of people that are like working on some fucking like crazy shit, and that's the ones I like to listen to because I be trying to learn some shit. I'll be like, these dudes is doing what? They're trying to make a fucking computer that runs off of atoms. I guess it's us, China, like all the countries is trying to. Whoever makes this computer first is gonna basically control the planet because that's how smart this fucking computer is gonna be. Because it's not. It's like organic. I'm like, dude, the next thing is fucking Terminator. You know what I'm saying? We got AI and atom computers. The next thing is Terminator. We're all dead. But anyway, it'll be dope when it happens. But you get these smart ass people trying to figure out this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't come up with something better. Like nuclear. Like literally, I looked into nuclear. Nuclear is safer and way better for the environment than fucking the burning coal shit that's just fucking killing the ozone layer. Pretty soon we gonna all be fucking crispy critters. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun's gonna fucking melt our asses. Because crispy we keep burning the ozone layer off. Actually, from what I hear, there's not even a hole in the ozone layer. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's just some fucking theory that somebody came up with, and they
it's just Al Gore. No big deal.
Yeah, it's just fucking, there's not even really a hole. But hey, I don't. And the fucked up thing about it is you don't even know what the truth is. That's the crazy thing. You don't know what to do. There's so much propaganda news and shit. That's why I like listening to Joe Rogan, because you're hearing it from the fucking person that's actually working on this shit. This scientist is working on this shit.
And even if you're not hearing it from the scientist, you're hearing it from the guy who's a part of the developing team for the said product to improve the environment. Like, he doesn't even have to be there, but he came up with the idea.
I want to hear shit from the horse's mouth. I don't want to hear it from fucking 8 people away that the story done changed 50. COVID's gonna kill everybody, and it's the fucking flu. You know what I'm saying? The whole world's gonna die because of COVID.
It
was fucking just like having a real bad flu for most people. Only fucking people with like pre-existing conditions and people that was super overweight was the people that was mostly dying. Which is still sucks, man, because, you know what I'm saying, it's a fucking, lab leak fucking biological fucking warfare. That's what I call it. China was trying to kill everybody, but you know what I'm saying? It was like, if everybody's dead, we'll just be the only ones left, because we'll block ourselves in this bunker where they can't nobody get to us. Everybody will be zombies and shit. That's what I'm waiting on, for a real truthful zombie apocalypse. Fucking doing shit like that. That's what's gonna happen. You can't be fucking. I mean, like, this is my thing. You basically have a cure for AIDS, something that was killing people for fucking like years, for like 40 years. It was just kill everybody got that shit died. Now you got to cheer for that shit. But you can't get rid of fucking COVID, you know what I'm saying? Like, a fucking virus, this little bitty ass virus, this ain't got shit. AIDS kills motherfuckers. But yeah, it's all crazy. But I like to hear shit from the horse's mouth. That's why I listen to all the scientists, man. All the scientists, and then like people that go, like actually go, like that dude that went to the Congo and did that fucking whole investigation on batteries, the stuff that they use to make batteries. Dude, that shit was crazy. That dude was fucking, he almost got killed like 10 times, man. His book, I read his book, man. This book is fucking crazy. Like, dude, what the fuck? They still got real slavery over there. Like, slavery. Like, motherfuckers walking around with machine guns talking about, we gonna kill you if you don't fucking, you know what I'm saying? If you don't dig up this cobalt. You know what I'm saying? Women got babies strapped to their back digging cobalt mines and shit. Like, this is fucked up. And then, dude, that book is, like, the shit he went through, like, I'm surprised he made it out alive, but, you know what I'm saying? That's the shit I like to listen to. And I don't listen to too many Star Wars podcasts. Like, if I ever do, most of the time, if I listen to a Star Wars podcast, I look like Rebel Force Radio just because they're the oldest. They've been around forever, and they know everybody. So you can get a lot of good details and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, because they know everybody. Shit, they've had fucking Mark Hamill on that shit. They've had it. Just about everybody that's played in Star Wars or was a part of Star Wars has been on their podcast at one point in time or another. So,
right.
You know,
no, I listened to Rebel Force and then All Things Kenobi. It's these two girls, and I've just they are fucking hilarious.
But my thing is, I've always been the type of person that I didn't like to listen to shit because I didn't want to have a bias. I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, sit back and hear shit and then, you know, let that influence my decision. Spend a lot of times because you'll listen to shit and then it's like, damn, I didn't even see that part. And then it changes your opinion on shit. But like Rebel Force Radio, they're kind of like fucking, I don't know. I listen to them more for like the people or the info that they get, because they get a lot of good info, because they know every fucking buddy. Fuck, they been
He listens
around
to him because he
forever.
has a crush on one of them. I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying? They just been around forever, so they know everybody. They get all the good details and shit, and you know they leak a lot of shit. Involuntary, because a lot of times it's a mistake. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that type situation. So, you know what I'm saying? But they don't ever get in trouble. They've been around. I think they're fucking part of Disney now. They've been around for so long. I think Disney owns their podcast, so, you know. But it's, I just don't like, I don't like a lot of it. You know, I just don't, I like the podcast. I listen to shit like, Time Suck, because
I like Time Suck, yeah.
Time Suck is the shit, man. Going through all the different serial killers. My wife listens to them.
I like Time Suck.
And then I listen to basically, that's about it. I listen to Joe Rogan and them. That's about the two podcasts that I listen to mostly during the week when I listen to podcasts. And then every once in a while, I mean, I'll go through YouTube sometimes and watch like Star Wars Explained and stuff like that, just to kind of keep. So I try to find out what other people are doing, so we don't do the same shit as them. I don't like doing the same shit as everybody else, so I try to keep it fresh. So I try to think about, okay, this motherfucker, there's 20 fucking videos out here about this topic, which I know today's topic, and we're talking about vision, but everybody's talking about vision. Vision is dope. But, you know, I try not to do the same things, or try to, because I'll have an idea and then I'll, you know, go through and look at some of the other shit. Now, somebody's already doing it. I'll be like, no, we're not going to do that. You know, I'll have an idea of a design or a background or a topic or something. And if somebody else is doing it, I'm trying not to do that shit. I want to be like everybody else. J-Dog,
what do you say we get to?
Really, y'all? We're the only podcast you listen to?
Yeah, dude.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. But, man, there's so much other fucking Star Wars content out there. Shit, you can listen to some other shit.
No, you don't tell them to listen to other Star Wars content.
What are you doing?
Man.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, be loyal to us. Ignore Kyle. He's just trying to be nice. Fuck being nice. Listen to us. We're awesome.
Hey, man, there's some good Star Wars podcasts out there. I love Rebel Force Radio. I've been listening to them for years. All right, so we're gonna be embarking on a thrilling journey today, because this like, I've watched Visions like 4 times now, season 2, and every time I watch it, I see something I didn't see before. Like, 6 of the questions in the impossible quiz today have to do with vision.
Christ. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Because there's some shit in visions that y'all like that might blow your fucking mind. So we're gonna talk a little bit about it today. Just do a double take because we really didn't get too much into the episode. We kind of just talked about it a little bit, and you know,
we did like reviews and stuff, but there's more to talk about.
Yeah, we just kind of went over it, and I thought it would be a good idea. You know, me and Garrison was sitting there. We was chatting after Wednesday's show, and we was like, "Hey, what should we talk about?" I said, "Man, I think we should do a little bit more about visions." So that's what we're gonna do today. Which Wednesday, if y'all didn't get a chance to watch Wednesdays, or if you didn't join in, go back and watch Wednesday's show. I watched it again. Hey, that was a good show. We had a good one. That shit was fun. We talking about tales, young Jedi adventures. I mean.
Carl loves that kid show. He loves it.
It's a good show, man.
I agree with him. It is good.
It's a good, and I watched it again, and I was like, dude, this is really not like just for kids. This adults can watch this. It's good enough for adults. Like some of the aspects of it is not really kid. You know what I'm saying? Like. I know it's made for toddlers, but a toddler isn't going to understand some of the concepts. They're more adult type content. Not that it looks like an adult content. I think that's where they get for toddlers. But some of the topics, some of the discussions that they're having, some of the things that Yoda says and other Jedi Masters, there isn't really like a kid's not going to understand that. So I think, you know, maybe like a teenager, adult will understand it more. So I think they did a good job of mixing in the two. They did the visualization, and a lot of the underlying morals and stuff are really based for kids. But some of the other topics and some of the things that's going on is really set for adults, and I think they did a good mixture of both of them. I'm impressed with what they did with that little kid show. I mean, for being a little kid show, I'm impressed with what they did.
It was well thought out.
I really liked it. It was very, I mean, the kids, like I said, when the second day it was on the TV, the kids were in front of it. Like it stopped them in their tracks. And we haven't had a show like that. So.
And we see why CJ didn't get to watch Vision, because the kids are the king of the house and they overtook the TV.
Damn straight.
Welcome to the club. So I thought we would go a little bit more into detail on each episode. I know we talked about it a little bit, but we really didn't go into that much detail. I think we're going to go in a little bit more detail about these episodes, because there's some stuff going on in these episodes. Some stuff that I didn't even catch, you know, the first or second time that I watched it, that I caught the third time. So first we got to get to the Housebreaker. Everybody that hasn't been here before, we do this thing called the Housebreaker. It's called our form of icebreaker, you know, pun to Empire Strikes Back. And Garrison's going to give us a crazy scenario.
Yep.
And then from that scenario, we're going to come up with our most outrageous response.
Not necessarily scenario. It could just be a random question.
Yeah, well, random question. Just, you know, he's going to put something out there, then we're going to try to figure out how to answer these things in our most outrageous responses. And it's something that we do to get, you know, just the creative juices flow, get our imagination working, get us in Star Wars mode. So let's go ahead and get to that Housebreaker. Okay, I gotta fix that goddamn thing, man. Like, I do not like that you can see the orange in that shit. Like, at the top and bottom, I gotta fix the aspect ratio on that shit. Oh. Like, every time I see it, it bothers me more and more and more.
Hey,
everybody else probably don't even notice it, but
thank you, Star Wars team leader. That guy literally was Jafar. We were watching that episode of Visions, and I was like, we're watching Aladdin. Yep. It was great.
There's some things about that episode that y'all might not have caught.
Really, I'm actually excited. That wasn't a bad episode. Like the more I think about it, the more I actually liked Visions a lot.
Dude, going back and watching it a couple more times and like really, you know,
it gets like better.
It gets better every time you watch it. Like, damn, I didn't see that. Oh, that's what they meant. Like the Sith. Like watching it the first time I watched it, I was like, dude, this shit gave me a headache. It was just so damn colorful and shit, fucking colors flying everywhere. I was like, Jesus Christ. Then the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, okay. By the fourth time I watched it, I was like, oh man, so she's using the force. That's her force ability. Her force ability is to be able to control colors.
All right, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
All right. Go
Not that I'm cutting you off, but like we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Go ahead, because we gotta get to the housebreaker.
Yeah. I wanted to see. All right, now that we've had a chance to, well, some of us have had a chance to watch all of Visions, digest it a little bit. Who's your favorite character from this season of Visions, and from the first season of Visions? Actually, who's the favorite characters?
My favorite character of the first season, I would have to say the Jedi Knight that kills the old Sith.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite episode. Yeah,
it was either him or Ronan, because Ronan is dope too. But
I think the episode, like the Jedi and the Sith, was better. But like the character, I like that Ronan guy.
Yeah, Ronan was dope. Because I like the fact that with Ronan is because he's a Sith that's just not being a Sith. He's just not doing the Sith shit. But technically, he's a Sith.
Right.
But I don't know, man. That Jedi, I don't know. He was captivating. You know, he kind of inspired me. You're like, dude, I want to make some animation type shit like this. This shit is dope. The old Sith dude was dope too, though, because the way he talked and shit, he was like, yeah, come on, punk, I'm gonna kill you. I've been killing Jedis for years. I don't know. And in this one, on this episode, I think the one, which episode is it? It's the one with the kid and the pilot where they go to destroy the Sith statue or whatever.
Yeah, the Dark Head.
Yeah.
Journey to the Dark Head.
The kid in that one, because, dude, he didn't want to be a bad guy, but he was kind of using the dark side of the Force because he was angry as shit. And he was angry at that Sith for killing his master. I don't know, it just kind of was relatable. It was relatable in the sense of Star Wars, because we know that Anakin was like that. We know that Luke was like that. You know, they used some of that dark side because they were angry about stuff.
Right.
And it just kind of it was just very nostalgic to me, and I liked it. That was like one of my favorite episodes, if not my favorite episode.
I think that was my favorite episode.
And it really captivated Star Wars, but then it gave you like this whole nother sense in that. So I would have to say, I think it was either him or the old lady. The old lady that pulled the dual lightsabers out. Mm-hmm. And dude, like that chick was dope for being a billion. She was older than Yoda. She was pretty dope because she just like she went after that Inquisitor like he wasn't shit. The Jafar dude, like he wasn't shit. Like she was flipping around for being as old as she was.
Dude, she was
broken.
Yeah, dude.
She was pretty dope.
Old lady, balling out.
But I don't know. I kind of like the singing. The one chick from.
Oh yeah,
I chick, man. That shit,
forgot
that
you liked
fucking
that
their
episode.
asses up, and she had no force powers or nothing. She was just dope. She was pretty. That was a dope character. I don't know, man. It's hard. There was a lot of good characters this season.
There were some good characters.
There were some good characters.
Yeah, I think my favorite was the first one you mentioned.
No, actually, IU or whatever. The chick from that one in there, in the last episode, IU song, because she has the dopest force ability ever. She can sing and destroy kyber crystals.
No. She didn't destroy the kyber crystals. She like purified them and brought them back to the light side.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a dope ass
Unbled
talent. That's
them.
Dope force ability. That shit is dope. That's all. Like I said, between that one, that episode, and the episode Darkhead, them was my two favorites.
I'm still so surprised you like that episode.
Dude, I like that episode. And I like that episode. That episode was just good. I don't know what it is about it. It was just a good episode. I like the story. The story made so much sense. It just felt so right. That was a good one. Now the animation wasn't the greatest, but just the overall story, just how everything fit together, how her force ability, how they was trying to hide, like, you know, how they tried to hide it because of what she could do. It was just dope, man. I don't know. I liked it. I liked it a lot. So, like, she might have been my favorite character, but I ultimately, if I have to pick really like my ultimate favorite character, I'd either say that dude or the one main chick from the dancing one. Because that bitch was bad. She was fucking them fools up. She was fucking everybody. She was fucking stormtroopers up left and right. And she had no force ability. She was just dope. You know what I'm saying? She pulled out them damn, she was just planting them bugs on them, and then she was just killing them. Like, it wasn't shit. They was blasting at her. And, like, I know stormtroopers can't hit shit, but there was 1,000 of them in that room, and they couldn't even touch her. You know what I'm saying? She was dope.
Yeah. I think my favorite, though, was the kid from the Darkhead episode.
Yeah,
he was definitely my favorite.
I don't know. It's hard, but I think it was him too.
But it also, that one felt the most Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
It felt the most familiar. Good. And so it was like the perfect blend of like, this is new, but it's also familiar. CJ, what about you?
I gotta agree with the Darkhead because I did watch that. I did get to that. I gotta agree with you on that. I really enjoyed that. It really gave you that Star Wars vibe. It was like, hey, you know, this isn't a Lucasfilm product where we have the same writers. This is a new writer, a whole new person, given their shot. Like we talked about last week, I honestly feel like the best show out of season 1 should have had their own season 1, and then this season 2, like in season 2 of Visions, the best show out of this that gets the most views or the most popularity should get their own show. And that, to me, that Darkhead one should have its own show. Yeah. But in season 1, to me, honestly, Ronin was my favorite one. Like, I went out and bought the fucking book. That's how good that was.
That book was crazy as shit. That shit was hard to understand.
For me, I think it was the Sith. Good. That was my favorite in 1. Season 1, it was the Sith for me. Star Wars. I see why everyone likes the Ronin, too.
Star Wars team leader said the old Sith in the first season. J-Dog said Ronin. Infected said season 1 favorite would be the Jedi who killed the Elder in the Ronin. Yup, that was a good. And Star Wars team leader said that she's still tracking her son. Yeah, because remember she put that thing on her son. It was crazy that she knew that was her son though. And then when he took off his hat and he had where the horns was at, and they were cut off. Like, that shit was crazy. Like, damn, man. Like, dude, that was really her son. She knew it. Like, she could feel that. They must have been, like, that might be part of their culture that they have, like, a fourth sense or something. Because, like, out of all the Imperial troopers, and they took him when he was a baby, how did she know? She just knew.
It's that mother instinct.
That shit was crazy. And the other chick, the chick that saves her, that wasn't listening and saved her, she was pretty dope too. She was doing some dope shit too. That was a good episode though. All these episodes was just good, man. Like, it was crazy. And they were so unexpected. You know, I kind of went into this like thinking it was going to be like Vision 1. And it kind of was, but then at the other hand, it wasn't. It was just like every single episode was different. And I thought that was going to be the one things that I didn't like, that they were all going to be totally different. But, you know, they were different, but every single one of them was different and it made them good. Even the Claymation one. And the Claymation one had...
The Claymation one just had a good story, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
it was really
wasn't
good.
well executed as much, but it was a good story.
I think that they played off of Hera. I think it was really a play off of Hera.
You think so?
They were trying to make something around Hera.
I liked that one. Watching that, I really do.
Wait, which one? Which one are we talking about?
The Claymation one.
There was like the one with the one kid.
The Wallace and Gromit writers.
Okay, because and it's Aardman Animations that did the other Claymation looking type one with the girl that looked like Hera. That one was I like that one, and that one's like, you'll find out later on in the show why that one is so crazy, because they put some shit in that motherfucking. The other one where he's like controlling, like he's trying to stop the TIE fighter at the beginning, and the two brothers, the younger brother and the older brother, that shit was that Claymation one was I didn't really like the Claymation style, but the story was all right. All of them had all right stories. All of the stories was good. Like, none of them were just like, this is terrible. You know what I'm saying? This is just fucking terrible. I don't even know why I'm watching this. All of them were good. It was just crazy, like how, like, just the differences in between them, I think, that made them so good. All right. So let's start off with the Sith. That was episode 1. And that episode, at first, like I said, the first time I watched it, it kind of gave me a headache. It was so damn colorful, and it was like the lightsaber duel and all that shit was dope. I like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, she's not really even trying to be like that anymore, because to a certain point that she just leaves her lightsaber. You know, she jumps on the thing and leaves her lightsaber on the floor.
Bro, that's wild to me. I don't care if you're trying not to be Sith anymore. What the hell? Come on. If you know you're getting hunted, like, come on, bring that sucker.
I didn't know, like, her being able to control the colors and the darkness, you know, was basically showing the balance of the Force within her.
Right.
But, like, the expression and the way that they did it is freaking awesome. It was awesome the way that they did it. Once you can get past the dealing with the colors, like, geez, this shit is just bright and just big streaks of colors.
Yeah, I get what they were doing, and it was like a cool idea, but like for a while there, it was like, dude, it's hard to watch.
Bright.
It literally was killing me. What up, Chris?
That shit was bright. But once you get the story, once you really watch it a few times and you find out the actual story behind what's going on, dude, that shit becomes like even better. And it's like, damn, man, I didn't realize that. Like, this is way better. Because, like, she's having nightmares, which causes the darkness of her times being a Sith. And that's what's causing the dark splashes in the color in her art. Because she's an artist now. She done left the Sith to become an artist. And the darkness is coming from her pull to the dark side. Then the colors is coming from her pull to the light side. Her wanting to be good, her wanting to be expressive and not be, you know, a Sith. And then when she figures out that the colors, the balance of the colors is what gives her the strength. And that's how she's able to defeat the master. And then, you know what I'm saying, the orange lightsaber and the red lightsaber is kind of the split of the balance. But when you really follow the story, it's an excellent story. Like, dude, like, how many other Sith that was like, dude, I don't want to, and it kind of pisses me off. It kind of pisses me off because I wrote a short film. And in the short film that I wrote, I never got a chance to actually do the short film, but I wrote a short film. And it's basically about this Sith master that's teaching his apprentice. Well, his apprentice is always being distracted. You know, they're in the woods. The Sith master's trying to teach this apprentice, you know, about the dark side. Well, you know, the birds is chirping and shit is going on, and deer or whatever animals on the planet. It would probably been deer because that's something I could have filmed, but you know what I'm saying? It's on the planet. You know what I'm saying? He's getting distracted. Well, the master just keeps getting madder and madder. Well, the kid's like, dude, there's all these beautiful things on this planet. Why are we so fucking thing about just wanting to destroy everything, you know? And the master's getting madder and madder. Well, the apprentice doesn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to do this. And the master's just getting more and more pissed off to the point that he like turns the fucking apprentice to the light side. So the apprentice, he like chokes the fucking apprentice, throws him up against this fucking dirt mound. And the apprentice gets up and he reactivates his lightsaber, and instead of the red lightsaber coming out, a green lightsaber comes out.
And it like naturally change colors by itself?
Well, just like, you know what I'm saying, the way Ahsoka, she cleansed her fucking lightsaber because one of her lightsabers is from a Sith. So she cleanses it. But it like happens to this apprentice naturally in the story that I wrote, in the short film that I wrote.
Right.
So when he turns it back on, it comes out green. And the Sith is like, I knew you were, the master's like, I knew you were weak, and then tries to kill him. And, you know, by the end of the good guy got to win by the end. But, you know, they go through this big battle and everything. And, you know, the Sith master's whooping his ass and keeps fucking striking him with fucking shit. And then he hits him in the back of the head with a rocket. And when the Sith master raises his hand up like this, fucking stabs him in the stomach. I had it all written out. It was great. But it's kind of, I'm like, dude, you guys took my fucking story. Like, I can't do that now. They're going to be like, you copied Visions. It's the same shit. It's just different. You just did it different. It's the same fucking story. So, but I was like, dude, this is a good story. And then the use of the artwork, like, dude, more and more I watch it, the more and more I think about calligraphy. Like Japanese calligraphy, you know, how the samurais used to write in the sand. and they used to do the calligraphy. That's how all the fucking art, the way that she's doing the art, and that's what it reminds me of. And I think overall, other than it's just so powerful with colorful things in the beginning, and just the kind of like there's no lines. And I think that's a good thing, because if you actually look at the logo of Visions, it's lined. There's no like outer lines around it. It's just fucking brush strokes. And I think that they were trying to convey that, because there's no lines around like the characters. You know, the characters are really not defined that well. Or the characters are defined well, but like everything else is not defined well. It's just like brush stroke. So it's more like that painting style. And I think they nailed it on that. Once you know what they were trying to do, I think they did an excellent job. Like, that shit is so good. And once again, I'm gonna say it, all of these episodes, whoever the editor was that did audio editing and the video editing, Disney needs to hire these motherfuckers, because they are way better than everybody that's worked on everything, including Andor.
Hey, don't come at Andor.
Andor has won more awards than
firing shots and blaster bolts coming out, and you hear the sound 3 seconds later. Like, what the hell?
What makes me laugh is that you say that, but Andor won the most awards out of all the Star Wars projects in 2023.
Yeah, boy.
I know, but I don't give
Come
a shit
at me,
about that.
Bodie.
Their editing sucked. They still had sucky editing. When you see a blaster bolt come out and you hear the sound before the fucking shoot comes, light travels faster than sound. You know what I'm saying? It's like hearing a gunshot, you know what I'm saying, 10 seconds before the damn bullet hits somebody. That doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? The bullet hits somebody, then you hear the sound. It's
Unless
like,
you're using subsonic rounds.
You know what I'm saying?
What if those blaster bolts are all subsonic?
They're not.
Oh.
We know they're not.
How do we know? How do we know?
Because we know. You can tell.
That's fine.
When you see the blaster bolt coming out and it's traveling, you know it's not supersonic. Dude, it just, and that's things that I notice with being in film, you notice things like that. And that's the things that I usually notice. Sound effects, you know what I'm saying, the green screen popping up that's out of the blue, or a blue screen, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or the TV, one of the monitors flickers within the dome. You can see that shit, because it changes the like, I'm looking at everything. So like whoever the editor is, you can cut that, like, that flicker out. I can do it at home on Adobe. You know what I'm saying? And they got way better well, they're probably using DaVinci Resolve or Adobe or something like that, because everybody uses that shit now. But they're getting paid millions of dollars to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can get a flicker out. We should never see that shit. The sound effects should never be off. You're getting paid a shit ton of money to do that. And these guys did this for fun. From my understanding, all these studios that doing these things, they might be getting paid, but they're mostly doing them for fun. They're under no contracts or nothing. They basically just randomly picked and say, you want to do a Star Wars thing. And so, and for them to have editing that is way better than what is happening in stuff that Disney is making, and these people are getting paid millions of dollars to do this, there's no reason. There's no reason that stuff should. The last person that's doing the screen viewing should be catching all of this stuff. They get paid to catch this stuff. That's what they get paid to do. They watch it, they find out everything on the last draft, and they call it in. They say, okay, this needs to be fixed. They write down times. This needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. The editor goes in and fixes it. These people are and Disney just let way too much stuff get through. And when you get to animation studios that are doing way better editing, way better, and it's way harder to do editing on animation than it is to do it in live action. You just cut a scene. You just cut one little second out of it, and you can't even tell the difference. And for animation, they got to go through each freaking frame, and you know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's way harder to fix stuff. So there's no reason for the animation to have that much better than people that are paid shit tons of money to do it. There's just no reason.
True.
And they killed it. Because right now, Visions is like killing on the Star Wars content for
Visions was good.
Star Wars content. It's way up. It's way better than. It's way higher than I thought it was going to be on the Matrix. In the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's way better. I did not even when we did our prediction, I thought it was gonna suck. I thought season 2 was gonna be terrible.
Surprising.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean,
I thought it was gonna
like
be
I said,
bad
that first episode of season 2 like really struck me different. I was like, if anything else is like this or very similar to this, I'm not gonna sit through it.
Oh, what are you talking about, man? Even like the first time, only thing it was just how colorful it was. That's what threw me off. It was like it was just way too colorful. Like, dude, I got so much colors, and you know, I kind of had an idea of what they were trying to do, but you know, the more I watched it, the more it just confirmed that that's what they were trying to do. But when you overall see the story and everything, it's freaking phenomenal. It's a great thing that they did. Because now that I know what they were trying, like ultimately, it's factual that I know what they were trying to do. The more I watch it, I'm like, this is exactly what they were trying to do. It made it better. Because I kind of had a hint when I first watched it, like, why did they do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to do this? And then the more I watched it, the more I realized this is freaking excellent. And it's something like nobody else is doing anything like that. Nobody else. I haven't seen anything. Which I don't watch a lot of anime, like that type of style of stuff. My son said that he's really into it. He was like, there maybe be one other thing that he's seen that's kind of like that style, but he was like, it wasn't that front. It wasn't that blunt the way that they did it. They still had more, you know what I'm saying, lines. Because there's not, if you really look at it, there's not a lot of solid lines. You say, imagine this, getting a tattoo and the dude works from the inside out and then puts the line last. That's kind of how they do it. They brush stroked everything, you know what I'm saying, when they were doing the design. So there's not a lot of solid lines. It's all brush stroke. So it's more like a painting that you did without drawing or without sketching out the actual thing that you're painting first and then painting within the lines. They painted it and then kind of went the lines around the outside of what they already painted. So they highlighted what they already painted with the lines instead of drawing the lines and then highlighting with a brush stroke, like most people do. Most people use like a fine tooth paintbrush and they get your concept. Kind of like what's his face, Frost, how he used to paint shit. If you ever watched that old dude Frost when he painted, what was his name?
What?
There's a guy that used to be on like CBS.
Bob Ross.
Fucking Bob Ross.
Whatever,
oh my God, Frost?
Whatever.
No,
he's like
Bob
Jack
Ross.
Frost. What the fuck?
If you ever watched him paint, he would paint. He didn't use lines. He didn't, you know what I'm saying, use most painters, you look like Da Vinci and all them, when they paint, they use a thin brush first and they get an outline, and then they fill in the outline. You know what I'm saying? They take a black, real thin brush, and then they use black or gray or whatever color, and they draw in the lines, and then they paint around it. Bob Ross used to just paint with shit. You know what I'm saying? He would just do this shit. He didn't ever he'd just do a tree, here you go a tree. That's kind of how they did it, and that's more of a Japanese style of painting. Like, it's called calligraphy painting. I watched a whole documentary on this shit. And that's kind of how they did it. So it was just the way that they did the artwork that kind of is something that we're not used to seeing because it's not done.
So Kyle's changed his mind. You like this episode now?
I like it now. I didn't really. Like I said, when I give it like a 6 the first time, I'd probably bump it up to a 7.
Okay.
I mean, it's still not one of the best out all of them, but it's better than I originally thought. Now that I have the concept of what they were doing, if you watch the storyline, you know what the story's about.
I stick by my original assessment that you need to be high on shrooms to fully enjoy it.
No. I mean, it'll probably make it a lot. I don't think you could watch it on shrooms. You'll probably lose your damn mind. Shit would be flying all over the room. You'd be like, oh, God, the walls is melting.
I've never even been on shrooms, but I'm still convinced. Like,
I've been on peyote. It's not bad.
Hey, shit, watching SpongeBob SquarePants movie on shrooms is one of the fucking funniest things you'll ever see in life. Especially when freaking... what's that star dude? Patrick flies through the air with a flag up his ass. Like, shit is hilarious. Jesus. But it's stupid as shit when you watch it when you're sober. Right. You're like, what the hell is this dumb shit? They made this for kids. But yeah, it was definitely it like the more I watched it, I think all of them got better the more I watched them. Like I would bump up every single one of them I had except the 9s because I don't ever give anything a 10. There's something wrong with everything. But I'd move them all up at least one number after the more I watch them, because the more I watched them, the better they got. They just got better and better. Like damn, every time I watched them, they got better. So what was the second episode? I had it pulled up, but then I fucked around.
Yeah, let me pull it up. So the first one was Sith, Screecher's Reach.
Screecher's Reacher or Screecher's
Reach? Screecher's Reach? Something like that.
Screecher's Reacher or something like that.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. That one, I'm still like where I'm at. It was. I get the story. It was good. Like I understand. It just wasn't like particularly my cup of tea. But what I will say, when we first saw like the Sith in that cave, I was like, oh my god! Like the scream was like ungodly. It was scary.
Well, it was kind of like they took like bits and pieces from other like scary like horror movies, kind of like the Goonies. Kind of like, some kids, going in the woods and then they run into a monster or whatever. It was kind of like that type of feel.
That scream, though, I'm just like,
like
how did they record that voice? Because that was like chilling.
It like a banshee scream,
Dude, yeah.
It was like that. And then the concept of them being stuck on this world or stuck in the thing goes back to, like I said before, like Goonies. You know what I'm saying? They're stuck on this thing. They could, they either it's all in or all out. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. The story overall was good. I like the part when he kills her, when he kills because I think that puts down another aspect of stuff, because he pulls the rock off. Uses the Force, or it's actually a girl. When she pulls the rock off and the rock falls down on the Sith chick, and then she picks up the lightsaber and she walks over and she kills her.
I was like, damn.
That was kind of. I think that's the more I watched it, the more that made it better, because I'm like, okay, that was like the test. Will you kill? So when the Sith chick comes to pick her up, you know what I'm saying, and her friends is all sad and she doesn't want to leave, and the Sith is just sitting there looking like. And
the first time I watched it, I thought for sure that was like a Jedi, and I was like, this is a weird looking Jedi.
I thought, I rewound that part a couple times because I was like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And then I realized it was a Sith.
Right.
But I think her taking life was the underlying factor of why the Sith came. Like, if you'd have just killed her, you know what I'm saying, they would have got somebody else in there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Star Wars team leader says, the Sith at the end reminds me of the Queen of Hearts in Alice of Wonderland, but skinny. Yeah, she kind of had that.
She was creepy, dude.
Yeah, she was
creepy.
But weird looking. Think of it that way. That was good. That's a good way to put that.
Like, that whole thing was kind of, I like the horror effect that they put in there. They put that horror factor in there. Even, when the lady came to get her, you got to imagine this young girl wants to get out of there. They're screwed. They're working on this planet. And they want to leave. But at the same time, she just beat this freaking screaming Screecher lady in this cave. And then she walks out and this ship
She just abused this poor old woman.
It was just kind of crazy, but the overall story was great. I like the story of it, because it gives you that sense that anything is possible. And somebody that's done shit in his life that, I look back at my life now and I'm like, I don't ever know how I did a lot of this shit. It just was luck. Because I'm like, dude, I didn't really do a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? It was just, I just was in the right place at the right time type shit. So, but it took hard work. It took a determination to get there. And I think that's kind of what this teaches you. Don't ever sell yourself short. There's always better out there. You can always go somewhere. But you got to go, and you got to, you can't let your own fear, dictate your responses to things. Because that's kind of what it was. They were scared to go, we're going to go in there. People don't ever come back. They told the whole story and they win anyway. And she like put herself on the line to save her friends, but look at the payout that she got, because she's the one that took all the risk. And it's just one of those things. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. And that's kind of, so like it made it more understandable. It made it more something that people could relate to in the world if you really pay attention to the story. And I think that's what it made it really, really good. The animation wasn't great on this one. It just it was kind of it looked like it was some slap together animation. It was very low end animation on it. But the story is what made it good, because it was something that we could relate to. And it's something that we've seen. It's like we talked before. This is something that we've seen a lot of times. But the reason them stories work, and the reason they keep making stuff with them same type of stories, is because it works. Why go away from something that to try something that doesn't work, and you might get a bad response when you know something will work? And I think they took the safe route on it, and they told the story that works. But
I get you.
Yeah, but playing it safe isn't fun, though, especially when you're doing stuff like this where it's a one-off kind of deal. I would have kind of would have liked to see a risk taken, because the first episode, you know how risky that is to start off a show like that and all white with a little bit of paint. All you see is the character. That was risky.
That was risky.
You could have played it safe.
Nobody's done that before.
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen anything like that, and like I said, my son is way more into the the Japanese anime and stuff like that. And he said he's seen it before, but not that harsh. I guess that would
not be that hard. You didn't have to go that hard.
That's kind of the way that he put it. Was it?
It's never been that.
It's never been that
strong.
that strong. He was like, but he's seen that type of anime before. He used other words, but that's the best way I can explain, because trying to think of the way a 50-year-old is explaining shit, I'm like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, I didn't get that at all.
Right.
Okay. Next episode was In the Stars.
In the Stars. Yeah, that was the claymation one. The soundtrack was phenomenal. One of the best soundtracks
music was
of the entire Visions.
I loved
incredible.
a lot of the music scores, but for some reason this fucking episode slapped.
Right?
I'm agreeing because it's so fucking true. It was this is a good music score. Good music score, good music. And then I put because I didn't watch them in order, because they're not story after story in the same universe.
Right.
This is all different. So I like I said in the beginning, I clicked through the ones I liked and thought looked good, and then I went back and I'm just listening to the music. I'm like, okay. Hit this episode, and I was like, all right. Didn't think it needed to be that hard, but I mean, shit. I'll give you it. I will give you it.
Yeah, and this was an episode, as soon as it started, I was like, I don't want to watch this because I don't like that kind of claymation.
Nope.
It looked clunky to me, but this music, was really
Saved
good.
it.
I don't know if it saved it, because it still wasn't one of my favorite episodes, but I think it's worth it just to hear the music score.
Yeah, the music was well done. I was trying to, because they said somebody, I was trying to see who did I thought I seen something on who did the music.
John Williams? No, I'm just kidding.
That would make so much sense.
I thought I seen something, but I can't seem to find it now.
Who did the music for Tarzan again? Phil Collins? Yeah, it's just Phil Collins. I thought I'd try Star Wars for a day.
I do agree that the claymation style that they did in this was they tried to make it to look too realistic.
And with claymation like that, you really can't.
Yeah.
It's claymation is supposed to be fun and playful and kind of goofy looking, kind of disproportionate, but
it was still pretty disproportionate.
Well, I meant like I said, from the ones that created Wallace and Gromit, like the one I can't remember what episode it was. That's what I mean with claymation. It's that styled.
Was it? This is one of the things that I noticed that as I watched all the episodes, did they were they trying to go for more of a? Well, at least not on all the episodes, but on some of the episodes, like this episode, because I thought they were brothers. I thought they were both boys, and then they're both girls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that, like, I don't know if they did that intentionally, because like in Screecher Reacher, I thought when the first time I watched, I thought it was a boy, and then I realized it was a girl. And it was
really?
like, were they trying to do that for, like, you know what I'm saying, to appeal to everybody, or, you know, was it just like with this one? Did they do it? Was it like that just because of how harsh it was, how harsh the claymation structure was? Because when you first
I'm thinking it was because of how harsh the claymation
he's like trying to control the, he's trying to use the force or whatever to stop the TIE fighter, and or she is, and you know, trying to stop the TIE fighter. Like, dude, it looked like a boy. Like you would think, even when they talked, they sounded more like boys than
I will fight them.
You know, it just sounded like a young boy more than a girl. And then they're like, just the way the claymation was done, it was really harsh lines. You know, like really, you know, their jaws are like really squared off, something that you would see within men characters than a woman character. And it just kind of threw me off, because I'm like, what? Okay, wait a minute, what's going on? And I think that's one of the things that made me not like it as much. You know, because I was like, dude, this is like confusing. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Dude, like,
the only thing I
so
will say,
harsh?
the TIE fighter for some reason did look kind of cool in
Yeah, the TIE fighter
claymation.
was dope
It
looking.
did look pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Just imagine it takes like shit. Every one of them scenes takes so long to do, because you gotta form the clay,
Yeah,
take
brutal.
a picture, form the clay, take a picture, move the clay, take a picture, move the, you know what I'm saying? I give it up to Gabriel Osora. I'm trying to say his name right. 'Cause he did a great job with it, because that's very hard to do. But I don't know. It just, to me, it was just lacking something, like all the way around. And it's not that I'm not a fan of claymation. It's just that squareness, that harsh, everything was real harsh. And it was like, and then the voices didn't seem to go with the characters. The music was phenomenal. I do agree with the music being probably the best part of the whole episode. You know, all the sound effects was pretty spot on.
I will fight them. I just
Star Wars team leader said they're aliens, so maybe their women do look like men. I just kind of got a sense that it was like they were trying to, you know, maybe, you know, try to be more compliant to, like, you know, the LGBTQ, the ABC people. I don't know how to say all the pluses and toaster oven and all that other stuff that they added onto it now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The toaster oven.
Hey, there's a chick that's like literally, she changed her, like legally changed herself to a toaster. That's the only reason I say that, because I just read this article the other day. I was like, really? You're an inanimate object? You're not even a person anymore? Like, okay, whatever. But
don't get
you know
mad
what
when
I'm
I
saying?
shove toast somewhere.
And I didn't know if, you know, and I'm open
I'll stick
to the
my
idea
toast in your
you never know.
Wow.
You never
Garrison.
know. We know, I mean, because,
Left field.
you know, like the Amazons. Like, if you think about, like, DC, Amazons, you know,
Amazonians, yeah.
Like Wonder Woman?
Amazonian women. They're beautiful, but they're stronger and everything like that. Like, how do we know that they were beautiful? Like, if you're going off of if they really existed, how do we know they were beautiful? They might all look like men. You know what I'm saying?
They might have been hideous.
All the men were all pretty and stuff. They're, you know, whoever thought up the idea originally, and then they changed it or whatever. So we don't know. But I just thought it was like, it just made it feel like, it didn't feel organic to me. It didn't feel natural. Like, you know, and I know claymation is not supposed to look natural, but when I watch, I don't get them type of feeling when I watch a Robot Chicken. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that type of feeling when you, like, see the Simpsons done in claymation, or, you know.
Because it's like, yeah, in those ones, it's like, it's not meant to be taken super seriously. In this one, it just didn't fit when you have this medium that's not a serious medium, and you're trying to convey a serious message. Does that make sense? Like, you're trying to have like a serious esque kind of story where, like, it's not funny and joking and stupid and light and dumb, but that's like claymation is just kind of naturally kind of funnier and lighter, so it's kind of
go back
hard
to like Gumby.
It doesn't really match, you know.
You know, I don't know, and it might just because we're not used to it that it just made it seem like that, and maybe if they did more, you know, we might get used to that type of style, but we're just not used to that type of style because that's not what we're used to seeing. I mean, you go all the way back to like Gumby, Robot Chicken, you know, all the claymation that they've done over the years, it's never been that type of style, and to try to throw that type of style at us, and it just kind of, it just was off. It just really didn't feel good. Like it didn't feel Star Wars. It didn't feel, you know, it just didn't give you that feeling. And I think that's one of the, I think that was one of the biggest drawbacks on this one. I think they could have done this one better. All right, so the next one, I Am Your Mother.
Yes.
This is that other claymation.
Better, yeah. See, this was more fitting for claymation, I think.
Yeah,
and to me,
even
this
though the
is
Wookiees
honestly
like this crazy as shit. Like they didn't even look like Wookiees. I was like, what the hell is this?
It's claymation.
It still felt good. Like it didn't feel.
It's weird.
Yeah, it just didn't feel that bad. But the story on this one, it just seemed like this has been done so many times.
Oh yeah.
Like this is like
it's a story we've all seen before, yeah.
And it's something that we've all experienced, and I think that's why they went with it. I mean, every kid experiences this with their parents at one time or another. So
Not like
it's
that.
relatable, but it just didn't give no depth. Like there wasn't no real depth. It was nothing really that excited me a whole lot. I think that they were, you know, they were trying to go off of something more like a, you know, like a young Hera, you know, disobeying her parents, you know, and we seen it in the Bad Batch, you know, and doing stuff. So, but they gave her a parent that was a pilot. She's some scrapper. But you know how you can still overcome and you know listen to your parents type thing because they know what's best for you and just they have faith in you type thing. It was a good story. The music was cool in it. The all the action.
I loved seeing Wedge Antilles on a big
cool.
screen. I loved that. That was probably the funniest thing.
Now, the more I watched it and the more details I saw and found out about this that we will hear about later on in the episode, because I can't discuss them right now because they're part of the quiz, it's going to blow y'all's mind. It made it a lot better for me. I really started seeing things. I'm like, oh, what is that? What is that? Oh, what is that? Oh, that happened. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it made it a lot better. Like I said, this is one of them episodes that I think I scored this one as a 6.2, and I think it jumped up to about a 7 now, maybe even an 8 because of the things that it explained something. Okay, I'm gonna fuck around and give up on the quiz, but there's some stuff that we're gonna find out later that's might make you guys change your mind about this episode a little bit.
We shall see.
But overall, yeah, I liked it. I liked the story, but like I said, it's just not something that's new. Something that we've seen plenty of times before. The claymation looked a lot better in this one just because it wasn't so harsh. It's something more of the type of claymation that we're used to seeing, so it made it more comfortable. I think that's what the last episode, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to see the claymation done the way it was done. It was cool that they did something new, but it just was uncomfortable.
I think my only problem with the mother one was like you literally could have stopped the episode 5 minutes in and everybody in the entire audience would have been able to guess how it ended and would have been able to explain the entire rest of the story for you.
There wasn't no surprise. You kind of knew where it was going right off the bat.
I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoyed it.
But I mean, it was.
I loved the nods and the snobby rich people, the way they were dressed.
Right.
I mean, like they were very Sith, like not Sith, but very Empire-esque looking.
Right.
And then you had the real Pilot Academy, which I mean is a good nod to the Young Pilots Academy in the Wedge Antilles books that they made in the past, that are EU or a part of the EU now. I just loved all those subtle nods and the hey, do you remember Wedge was sort of a hero? He did do some stuff. Here you go, Wedge. Some
Don't let
claymation
Tori
for
hear
you.
that.
No, I
Wedge look
think
kinda
he is
cool,
a
though.
hero, and he does not get the goddamn credit he deserves. But
Come on,
not
he
the point.
blew up the second Death Star. Everybody forgets that. He's
He
the
was a
one that
part of the
fired
first
shot.
one. He was part of the first one, and he hit the kill shot in the second one. He was the main pilot in the Battle of Jakku. Like, fuck around, find out. Wedge Antilles is a bad cat. Nobody gives him that recognition. That boy is an ace pilot from hell. He's on your ass. You're done for.
Yeah, I like the fact that they brought Wedge in, because Wedge hasn't got included in a lot of stuff, Star Wars wise, in the movies, for especially how meaningful his character was to the overall storyline. And I thought that it was nice that they brought him in.
Well, and I love that
there's
Dennis
a lot
Lawson
of-
is now speaking up about it too. Dennis is like, "Hey man, where's the Wedge glove? Like, I was in Rise of Skywalker for a whole 3 seconds saying, "Hey, we're here," but that's it."
And when like I said, there's a lot of things. Wedge wasn't the only thing that's in this episode that's going to be like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, probably my favorite episode, Journey to the Dark Head, which the title threw me for a loop right off the bat. Even the description, but I like the idea of this episode, and then I really like the animation of this one. The idea of, dealing with this dark energy because something bad has happened to you is something that everybody in this world goes through and is experiences at one time or another. And then I also like the idea that they had this concept that the pilot chick, whatever her name was, I can't remember all these names, too many names to remember, that the pilot girl thought that if we cut the head off of this freaking statue, or we blow
Everything
up
will
this
go-
statue, that it's going to get rid of the dark side.
A little bit dumb there.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, if you go back to the Legends books and you read and listen to some of the Legends books, there's a lot of concepts that they think that the dark side has something to do with a place. Even the light side has something to do with a place, or a being, or a statue, or that the dark side has something to do with that. It's like coming from this object. If you go back to Dawn of the Jedi, which is the oldest book within the timeline of Legends, basically they think, and all the way up to well into the Old Republic, a lot of people thought Ashla and Bogan was, and their two moons were the two moons of Tython, were the dark and the light side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for them to have that concept go on into the story of something containing dark side and something containing the light side is a very in-depth concept within Star Wars. And it's something that I think that people started to talk to in George. I think that's why George created metachlorians and explained that it's these things within, because you got to remember, in New Hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi describes as an energy force that binds the galaxy together,
right,
holds everything together. And for the longest time, that was just what it was. It was just an energy force. Then George, as books came out, George was like, okay, I got to make this better, because now it's binding a rock together. You know what I'm saying? It's binding a planet together. It's binding everything, and that's not what the Force is. So I think that's why he came out with the concept of the metachlorians. That means it has to be a living thing. It's a living organism that's inside of other living organisms, and them things can connect with the Force and allow things to happen. So it's not technically that the Force is, just this energy. It is an energy, but it's controlled by a certain thing. Without these certain things, it can't happen. So this kind of goes against that, because it's not that it goes against it, it's just that's the idea here, is that this other statue. And then I like the way they explain it. As he's fighting with the Sith Master, he realizes that the dark and the light are just the Force. You know what I'm saying? There's no real such thing as the dark side or the light side. It's just the Force. It just all depends on how you use the Force, which I think explains something very good, because I think a lot of people, you know, even though this isn't canon, I think a lot of people need that explanation. You know what I'm saying? That it's just the Force. The Force, it's all about how you use the Force. Something that you've been arguing with me for a long time.
Heck
But
yeah.
it kind of explained it to me. And it made me realize in a different light, and it made me change my mind about something. That it's just the Force. So the whole idea of I think that it still is compounded in the idea that if more people are using the Force for dark side energy, it's draining more on the Force, because the dark side is still way powerful. So the less people you got using the dark side, the less people you got using the Force for that dark side, it's gonna make them, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna make it more stronger because of what you're using it for. But I think it's just the Force, and it just kind of explained that, which was very refreshing to me, because you know, you've been arguing with me forever that it's just the Force, and I've been like, no, the motherfucker is the dark side in the light. No, it's just the Force, and that's what they explained here. It just made it understandable. It really did. It made it understandable to me. I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's just the fucking Force. You know what I'm saying? There's no dark or light side. It just depends on how you use it. Okay, Garrison, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it still, I think it was just done really well. The music, the lightsaber battle was just freaking awesome. You know, it just felt like I was watching like some of the Japanese anime, sci-fi or Japanese anime sword fighting. The movements, the way that the shifts, the screens, just everything was done so excellently. The story was excellent. Everything was just great about this thing. Star Wars. Snoo, God, I hate voice text. Snow, or Snoo, okay. Mom had a fat ass, LOL. Star Wars. Why are you looking at the claymation ass?
Mom had a...
You got something you want to tell us?
Nice and thick.
But I thought this was a well done out story. I like the concept. I like what it taught us. And I like, you know, we know that it's not canon, but at the same time, it just explained a lot of stuff in very simplistic terms. And it showed us something, and it showed us something that is completely different. And I really appreciated that. I really like the depth that they took this episode in, and that's probably why it's my favorite, second favorite, or I don't know. It's tied with the other one for favorite.
There you go. All right, what's the next one?
You didn't say nothing about this episode.
Oh, Journey to the Dark Head?
Yeah, you didn't say
what are you
nothing
talking
about
about?
Yeah, we talked about it in the
beginning. It's my favorite episode. It's the best episode.
Well, what are some of the things you liked about it?
We talked about it in the beginning.
Yeah, and the only problem was like, the only bad part of it was that it just felt a little bit rushed, and that's not like something they did wrong. It just needed to be longer, but they didn't have that amount of time. You know what I mean? I wish they would have gone into a little bit more of what's going on, what's the deal about these heads. Like, it just felt kind of like the setup for the story felt kind of rushed, and you weren't exactly sure what was going on, and you weren't exactly sure the background of it.
Yeah,
but other than that,
they could have explained a little bit more about the background.
But like they did as much as they could, in the time they had.
It went so quick because she's there with the master. The master is trying to explain to her. She's like, "Let's destroy." He don't want to listen. And next thing you know, she's at the Jedi Council.
Exactly.
It was like, damn, that shit happened quick. Yeah, I do agree with that. It did happen a little bit fast. And CJ, I'm guessing you haven't watched it.
Hello?
Hello?
CJ, did you watch that one?
Yeah, the Journey to the Dark Head.
Yeah.
Yes, we talked about it in the beginning. Once again, it was one of my favorite ones. It literally goes this one, and then it goes into the claymation.
Okay.
I liked this. It was quick. It was very simplistic. I mean, it wasn't too much, but it gave us that Star Wars feel. like we talked about in the beginning. It was very, very Star Wars for people just coming in and throwing some stuff together and trying it out, pretty much, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was good. It felt, but it also felt like anime too, where it felt like it was like the perfect mix. That was like what Visions kind of like should be to me, because it felt like anime, it felt like Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was a perfect combination of the two put together. I think that's probably why it was tied with it's tied as my favorite episode, because I don't know, it just feels so right. It just, everything felt well thought out, and then it was just a little rushed because they got 15 minutes or whatever each episode is allowed to have, so they got to figure out how to tell the story within this amount of time. So of course you got to cut stuff out, because I guarantee when they originally did it, it was probably 2 hours long. They had to cut it down to 15 minutes, so they got to cut out the parts. But I think it was really well done. Okay. The Spy Dancer.
Didn't like this one.
I like this one. I like this one because the story was there. It had a good story. We know that the Empire was going in and taking, people's kids and doing all kind of messed up stuff and everything. I like the way that, I liked how badass she was. She was bad. That chick was bad. Like, I'd give her some. Like, I wouldn't ever want to fight her. She would be fuck your ass up. But the thing that I didn't like about it is, how did she know that was her son? Unless she has some type of force ability. Unless her species has some type of force ability. I couldn't figure that out. It kind of threw me, because like, how did you know that's your son? They took him when he was a baby, but she just knew. And I like the way that it caused her to throw herself into like she was in shock, because when at first she was going to kill him,
right.
And then because she thought it was the other guy that took her son, and then she realizes it is her son. But I thought the animation was done really good for what was happening within the animation, like all the flips and the spinning and all the stuff that she was doing, whipping on them thing on the dress and everything. I thought that was really done well for the animation. Like, that's a lot to do in some animation. If you watch most animation,
right,
it's very simplistic. This was very, very advanced, the things that they was making her do. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed that it left us on a cliffhanger, because they know, like Chris said earlier in the chat, that it was either Chris or Star Wars team leaders, that they were tracking her. She was tracking her son. So it left us, and then he's sitting there looking at the spots where his horns was at, like, what the hell is going on? Because he had like no idea what the hell was going on. And I think that was an intentional thing that they did to like give us another one. You know what I'm saying? It's smart on their end to do that, because they left us on a cliffhanger, like, give us another one, we want to make another one.
right.
Or let us extend the story. And to think about where the story could go with her abilities, just with her dance abilities and her abilities to do what she does, I think would go for a dope ass, like, longer story. I think it really would. To see how she tracks her son and see what she does to get him back and convince him that the Empire is not good. And I think that the story could really go far. So I enjoyed it. I think there was a lot of...
Yeah, you really liked that one.
I did. I liked it.
I don't know. For me, it was like, it was good. It just didn't like blow my mind like some of the other ones. It didn't feel like, it felt like it was like, it didn't need to be in Star Wars to be the exact same story.
Well, I think that was the point, though. I think the point, you got to remember, these are not supposed to be, they're supposed to be Star Wars, but they're not supposed to be Star Wars. Like, they have Star Wars characters in it, or, like a Star Wars-based story, but they're really not supposed to be Star Wars. And I think this is just one of those episodes. It's like in Visions 2, we had some of the episodes, like the brother and sister one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was Star Wars character, but it was just, like, it was just like, it wasn't Star Wars. It was more like a space battle, Voltron type thing.
Right.
Which made it its own like episode. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't good. It wasn't bad.
Right.
It was just one of those things that was. It was there. It was something different. And this one was something different, but I think it had more of the Star Wars feel to this one because it relates to the story of Star Wars. We know that the Empire was taking kids. We know what the Empire was doing to cultures. You know, we know that the Empire was doing all these bad things. And this gave us more reality of what they were doing at that time. You know, how they did it, you know, and what people did afterwards. You know, some people went and, you know, she finds her kid, you know, however many years later, and she's running a cabaret doing a dance thing. And now, okay, here goes my son. Let me figure out how to get him back now. And I really like the way that they left us on a cliffhanger because now I kind of want to see what they do if they allow them to come back and do another one, like do a second part to it, extend it out something. I think it was really smart on the animators themselves to do that. I think it was creative. And you said you didn't like this one, CJ?
It wasn't that I really. It wasn't like the fact that I didn't like it. It was just. It was. It's not like we. It's something. It really reminded me of the brother and sister. It was just very, like we've seen this. It's decent, but.
Well, the brother and sister one didn't have no story. That was a problem.
Yeah,
the
but
real problem
like
with the
this,
brother and sister.
I
one.
will give you this. It had a story and it has a continuation to it, but at the same time, it was like, it was all right. Maybe you guys could have improved from this and keep going, like you said. But at the same time, it's like, are they going to let them? Are you going to let us sit with that? If you let us sit with that, that sucks for starters. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Visions overall. Like, I don't mind people coming in and creating more Star Wars content. It's just the fact that, like, some of these could have their own shows and be amazing. And they're like, oh, you get one episode, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. That's all you get. We're just trying to give you guys some recognition so you stop bitching at us. And that's how I'm taking it a lot with Visions. I
don't think that they're bitching at them because they're being asked. Disney is asking them to make these. This wasn't something that was brought up by someone. This was actually what's his face from Disney, from Lucas, from Lucasfilms. He's the one that said, "Why don't we do something different? Why don't we contact other people and have?"
But at the same time, you know, other people have openly stated, "Why can't we create and produce on your platform? Why can't we get that recognition?" And then obviously somebody in the office is like, "Well, he's not wrong. I mean, we can give them all shots and let them play this out and see how it works." And obviously Visions season 1 was popular enough to bring back for a season 2.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like, there, like I said in season 1, and even in this season, there are shows that could have their own TV show for one or two seasons.
Yeah, I think the best thing about Visions is it's because when Disney makes Star Wars, it's like, get these writers, hey, you guys need to make a story about this, this, and this. In Visions, it's like, hey, we have this story already. It's not like forcing a story. It's like, hey, let's come up with a story in the Star Wars universe and see where it takes us. And so I like that Visions seems to have a lot more authentic stories rather than just manufactured stories.
Yeah.
And I like that Visions is bringing those kind of stories in, these new, fresh ideas that we might not otherwise see.
So what did you think about the episode, The Dancer?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but that's just because I don't know. It didn't interest me all that much. The whole dancer thing. The beginning of the story didn't really intrigue me. Didn't draw me in as much as some of the other ones. It didn't feel like super Star Warsy to me, and I know that's not like necessary all the time, but I don't know. It wasn't really my cup of tea, I guess.
Okay, so we got the Bandits of Golak. Now, this one, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, you got lightsabers, you got this girl that can use the Force, which is, the it wasn't like my favorite episode by no means. But the more I watched it and the more I seen some of the things that are in it,
it was good.
It's
Aladdin,
better and better. And better. It's one of those ones that actually went better and it actually moved up on my list. It jumped because the things that I seen within it, the more I watched it, the story made sense. Had an Inquisitor in it, an Inquisitor that we hadn't seen before, which made it cool. I like the fact that the girl was, and I think I said this before, that the girl was just using a Force, and the brother was like, "Hey, stop, man!
She was so dumb.
Get us in trouble. Quit doing that shit." I like that. I like the overall story. I like the fact that there's still Jedi out there. That it showed that there's still Jedi out there that are helping Force-sensitive kids get away from the Empire. But like I said, the more I watched it, and the more I seen some of the things that's in it, the more it intrigued me. And the more I was like, this is one of them stories that they need to continue. And I like the fact that this one also left us on a cliffhanger because she takes the little girl, they go down into the water thing. And
not that I don't
what
want
happens
more
to them afterwards. Now I want to know.
Not that I don't want more, but I think we came to the ending. He left his sister, and not left his sister, but he delivered his sister. And even though it was hard leaving her, he was willing to leave her because he knew it was best for her.
But it still kind of left you on a cliffhanger because now I want to know what happened to the sister.
Yeah.
I want to know where they take them. What's happening? Where are they going? I want to know that. So now it piqued my interest even more. Because I'm like, dude, I want to know. This is, like you said, some of these are really good enough to have a whole episode or a whole season to explain some of the things that they're explaining. Especially because it's happening during the time that you could tell the Empire is searching for, children that are Force sensitive, to create more Inquisitors or whatever they decide to do with them. And now it's like, but we know that there's like this underground railroad type thing to get these Force-sensitive kids away from the Empire. So what's happening to these kids now? I want to know.
Right. I actually, it's kind of cool. You have
the
like
girl was just stupid and Carly.
Oh, she was stupid. The girl was super stupid. We have this underground railroad of Jedi.
Which we know that. They explain that in Kenobi.
Right.
That they have that there's Jedis that are getting other Jedis away from, and helping them. So, for them to put this story in another part of space, kind of now I'm more intrigued. Now I want to learn more. It makes me make another second season of Kenobi and have Kenobi help the fucking Underground Railroad.
No more Kenobi. No more Kenobi.
You could work that in there. It intrigued me, and I want to know more now. I want to know where are they going? What is happening? What is going on? I want to know, and I think it made it even better. And then when you get to some of the nods that are in here, it makes it
from
even
Aladdin,
more better.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So this was definitely one that moved up. I would ask CJ what his idea of this one is, but he left. All right, let's we got episode 8. We'll go back. The Pit. Now this one
this one, I like the idea behind it. You were on the right track, but a whole episode of this, what? I just didn't get it.
I understand. We know that the Empire was doing bad stuff. They got these people out here digging for kyber crystals. They find the kyber crystals, then they just leave them in this pit.
Right.
And then they just start singing after the kid goes up and gets it.
Follow the light.
I don't know. This seemed more like something that would be more relatable to what's going on in the world now, like I was talking about earlier with the cobalt mines and stuff like that, because this is just slavery. They did an episode about slavery. And then I think one of the things that bothered me about it was that why are all the slaves black? Did you notice that? Like if you look at the thing, like most of the slaves are black slaves. And it's like, dude, so what was the purpose behind this? Like, what were you trying to convey here? Are you trying to like give a nod to history and just the way things go, or are you being racist? You know what I'm saying? Because the more I watched it, I was like, dude, like
I doubt that was they're not being over. I doubt they were being like full on racist.
My thing is this, so I'm looking at like, and then even all the actors that they had on it, like most of them, they got like Steve Blum, which is a white dude, Jordan Curret, the voice of the little girl. She looks like she's mixed. Daveed Diggs, he looks like he's a mixed guy. You got Cedric Yarbrough, he's black. And then Anakai Nani Rose, she's black. Like even the cast is black. The characters are black, and they're slaves. It's like it like when I was watching it, it bothered me. It like wait a minute, what are you guys trying to say here? You know what I'm saying? Now, it didn't explain anything really. It was just like, we know that this is happening. We know that this is happening within the Empire. Like, okay, and then there was no like real story. What, the people came out and helped them because they started singing? Like, like, there was no force.
Yeah, the follow the light. It just felt kind of cheesy to me. Like, follow the light.
I think this is the only episode that the more I watched it, the less I liked it, because it was like, dude, what are you guys trying to say here? And it just didn't. And I know it was directed by a black dude. Leandre Thomas is a black dude. It was written by him, so it's like, I know he's not trying to be racist. But at the same time, it's like, what are you trying? It's like one of those things where it's like, are you trying to show everybody that Star Wars is bad or something? Like, that we know the Empire sucks, man. It's the Empire. They ain't like nobody.
Right.
And then it was like, you know, I don't know. It just, the more I watched it, the less I liked it. It was like, dude, I don't think that we need to be putting all this politics into Star Wars. You know, it's like, it's okay that we have, like, you look at, like, if you're watching Andor, or, you know what's going on. You know how things are. But now you're trying to, it just seemed like they were trying to put, should have been more something that it was like, shouldn't have been in Star Wars. They could have told this same story in anything. It didn't really necessarily need to be in Star Wars. And it just, I don't know, the more I watched it, it bothered me. It was like, dude, why is this even here? It's like, dude, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to worry about what's going on in the world when I'm watching Star Wars. The whole point of me watching Star Wars is to get away from everything that's happening in the world. I don't want to hear about, people getting killed and hurt and done dirty. I want to imagine, saying something else. And the more I watched it, it was like, oh man, what is going on here? What are you trying to convey here? And it just made me
disassociate.
It just made me I just didn't want to be a part of that. Like, I don't want to be a part of this.
No, I wasn't against like the real suffering, because like, sometimes you gotta, like, I mean, Order 66 was pretty real and pretty bad. Like, so I don't know if it was like that. It wasn't like the fact that it was real suffering or realistic to me. It was more just like, what's the point kind of thing. It just felt kind of, I don't know. It was a boring episode. Like, just them just sitting in the thing, him going to, like, there was no, like, I don't know. There was no stakes. There was nothing driving me. There was nothing exciting. It was just like, here, we're just sitting in a pit. Hopefully people find us. And like, I don't know.
I don't know. Just like I said, the more I watched it, the more
I think like the premise like could have been really cool. It was just kind of like,
well, if they would have because they just got out of the hole.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, like, how is there, like, dude, their life still sucks by the way that y'all putting it, the way that y'all are putting it in this. Just, they just got out of the hole. They're not going to die. Like, sometimes death is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're already being treated bad, and it was like that. It was like, I don't know. It just, like like the more I watched it, the more it made my stomach hurt. Like, dude, why do I don't want to know about this? Is like the real world. I don't want to know about this right now. I want to be like Star Wars. I want to be imagining, like when you watch Order 66. Order 66 is bad, but you know that it's like not real. You know what I'm saying? You know that this is like it's not real. This kind of made you feel like, oh, this is real. Like I was watching Roots or something. I was like, dude, what? Oh man, this sucks, man. Like it just made me feel bad the more I watched it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like it. I was like, no, I don't like this. I don't want to watch this. It just didn't.
I don't want to.
Stop. Yeah.
It just didn't. It didn't do good. Luckily, my tie for the second favorite was the next episode,
which is
IU's song.
Golly. This one was like one of my least favorites.
I like this thing. This was good.
Which is crazy because I did not expect you to like this one at all.
I don't know. I can't explain why. It just made me feel really, really. Maybe it's because the last episode made me feel so bad that this episode made me feel so good. I just liked her force ability. I liked the thing that was happening. It gave me a sense of nostalgia that Star Wars is supposed to give you. And it wasn't really Star Wars-y, in all reality. I mean, it had some Star Wars aspects in it, but it just made me feel good. It just made me feel like I just to have that type of force ability is dope. You know what I'm saying? To be able to do what she could do, and just another sense of don't do this. You know what I'm saying? Do not do this because they're gonna find out type of thing. Like you have a very wonderful gift, but you can't use it. And it just sucked for her. And it's been like it's kind of like, when you're first starting out in anything that you're doing and you're trying to figure it out and you're trying to and you got all these people saying, no, but you know that this is what you want to do. And it's like people are telling you, no, you can't do that. You don't need to do that. You, this, that, and this and that. But this is truly what you want to do. And you just go for it type of thing. And it's just cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just works out. I don't know. It just gave me that type of feeling. Like, I could relate to it. I really could. Like, it was, and then, like, the singing, like, was good. The music was good in it. Like, it wasn't the best music or anything like that, but it was different. It really gave me a feeling of, like I said, just, it just made me feel good. I think that's the biggest thing. It just made me feel really good. It made me excited about Star Wars for some reason.
I get that. I think for me, it was just immediately, like, going in, the animation was like, they all look like Care Bears to me, and it feels like I'm watching Care Bears. So that, like, threw me off immediately. And then, like, just maybe to match that kind of like,
I kind of like Care Bears. I watched Care Bears. I thought Care Bears was a cute show.
But, like, to match that, they had, like, almost like a plot that seemed like out of Care Bears, where, like, her magic song will, like, clean the kyber crystals or whatever. I'm like, dude, this is like Care Bears. Like, her magical song and, like, pretty, like, I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't know. It just kind of, like, threw me off. So I think that's one of the reasons I didn't like it, because it was, like, very, like, it just felt like I was watching Care Bears, dude. Or, like,
know what it kind of made me feel like? It kind of made me feel like Lion King. Like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of have this, like, you can't silence the song that's in your heart type thing. You know what I'm saying? There's an important message in that. You know what I'm saying? You got to follow your dreams type thing. And I think it like, literally after I got done listening to it, I was like, dude, I want to go shoot a fucking short film. I want to do all these creative things. All these things that I have inside me that I need to get out. I got to go get them out. That's the kind of feeling that it gave me. It just really made me feel good. It inspired me. The animation wasn't the greatest. I'm not going to sit back. But the overall story and what the story conveyed was just phenomenal. It was just so good. It made me feel like it's been a long time since I watched something that really gave me a feeling. And for something that was 15 minutes long, There was just about some little girl that had this wonderful ability, and everybody was trying to stop her from using her ability because of the situation. It's so relatable, you know what I'm saying? Because it happens to all of us. Everybody has these like dreams, and people, you always got somebody there saying you can't do that. Oh, you'll never be able to do that, and, or you can't do that, or if you do that, you're gonna ruin your life, or you know what I'm saying? And then you go out there and do it, and it actually works, and you're like, holy shit! I'm so glad I didn't listen to everybody. Just imagine like if somebody told fucking, you know what I'm saying, Bill Gates that he couldn't do what he wanted to do, that he couldn't follow his heart.
Right.
The song is just the premise of it. It's not really about the song. It's about don't let anybody fucking tell you that you can't do something. Go out there and follow your heart, follow your dreams. And you can do whatever you want to do if you put everything into it. I mean, come on. Everybody told Elon Musk that he was fucking nuts. Look at this dude. He's fucking rich as shit and about to go to Mars. You know what I'm saying? But if he'd have listened to everybody else, he would have never got there. And I think that's what the story conveyed, and that's what's so captivating about it. That's what made the story, and this is something that we bitch about all the time, is that the stories aren't good enough. This story was fucking phenomenal. The story was phenomenal because it gave you an emotional reaction to the story. The story gave you emotion. Fuck all the other thing. If you could just hear it, if you heard it, never seen the visuals, and just heard what was going on, it would impact you. And that's what I think that's what it was for me. It was just that the story was just so good. It was inspiring.
I get that, and I can see that. It's weird. We took it like completely different ways.
Well,
I was just lost in like this is like Care Bear, where I couldn't see anything else, and you're like seeing like what's the meaning behind it, and I'm like, I'm just lost in Care Bear right now.
I think that's where I think that's what I think a lot of people took it that way, even though this was the #1 rated episode that there is. This was the highest rated episode that there was. I think because a lot of people got it right off the hand. I think other people took it the way that you took it. You just looked at it and like, dude, this is so like cringe. You know, like Chris says, my only emotional reaction to this episode was cringe. You know, it was just cringe because they didn't, I don't think everybody got what the story was saying. But overall, this was the #1 rated episode. More people like this episode than any other episode. And I didn't know that until after I had already
Dude, that
decided
makes
I
no
liked it.
sense to me because I thought it was just so bad.
Like this episode has been rewatched more times than any other episode that there was of Vision.
Probably little kids, dude. I don't know. It just felt so little kid to me.
I think it's just because of this, of the.
I'll have to. Maybe I'll watch it again and kind of like try to have more open mind.
Or what it's trying to teach within the story. I think out of all of them, this one right here really taught the most. When you look at it, it was the most teaching story that there was. It like told you to like follow your dreams, listen to your heart. It's not about the song. You know, a lot of people. I think a lot of people took it like it's about a song, and then they kind of went back to Vision 1 with the Tatooine Rap City 1, and they were like,
that one sucked.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But it was about what everything behind the meaning behind it was, and the people that got it was like, oh my god, because I watched it like fucking 6 times. I watched it more than I have any other episode. And then second would be the fucking Knight's Head. I watched that shit like 5 times. The rest of them I watched like 4. But it's just, cause, like I watch it and I want to come in the studio and go to work. Like as soon as I get done watching, I'm like, it's like watching Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to go fucking work out now. I want to go fucking punch some shit. That's the way it makes me feel. I want to go work on some shit. I want to go work on something. I want to be creative. I want to let that inner me out to the world. You know what I'm saying? I want to work on, you know, a podcast or some anime or write a story or write something or do. I've got to get the stuff out of me. It just makes you feel like that. At least that's the way it makes me feel.
I got you. CJ, did you watch that episode or no?
Watch it. Like watch it. Watch it. It's freaking phenomenal. I love it. It just makes me feel so good. Like I said, it makes me feel good. I think all of these episodes were.
Kyle's getting sensitive in his old age. I'm just kidding.
Get sensitive, like, dude, like, think about it like this. You go to the gym, you got certain music you listen to work out with. It gets you pumped up. It gets you, you know what I'm saying? Like certain movies get you pumped up, get you willing to, you know what I'm saying? For some reason, it gives you that feeling of you want to do something, or you want to work out, or you want to, you know what I'm saying, read a book or whatever them songs or that movie shows you, or be creative or whatever. And this just gives me I just want to be creative. I want to get the stuff out to the world, you know what I'm saying, that I have in my head, that I have in my heart. And I want to get that stuff out. And that's the way it makes me feel. And it just, like, it's been a long time since I really, like, had anything do that. And I don't know why it did it, but it did. It just, it's like she's so heartbroken that she can't sing the song. This inner, and she wants to get it out. And the Force is telling her to get it out, because it's her Force ability to get this out. And her dad is telling her, you can't do that. They're going to find you, you know what I'm saying? You can't, it's kind of like that. And it seems like there's so many people in this world that are so creative, but they don't ever do anything with their creativity because they always got somebody telling them that they can't. And I think, you know what I'm saying, that sounds like hormones to me. I love you too, Chris.
I'm sorry, dude.
I'm going through menopause.
That's what we do. We gotta tease each other, right? Sorry.
Yeah,
if it's too much, I'll stop.
No, it's all right. It don't hurt me none, because I ain't gonna shit. I already know. Since I got older, I'm way more fucking emotional than I was when I was young. And more plus getting MS, because now I found out that a lot of the things that I held back on when I was younger, like being emotional, like, telling my kids that I love them. Like, I tell my kids I love them every time I talk to them now. Every single time I talk to my kids, I tell them I love them. I give my kids hugs every day. Both my sons that are here that I get to see all the time. I just do that more. And shit, I don't know, it makes me feel better, so I don't know about the rest of the world.
Oh, I got you.
And, it just, because you don't ever know. That might be the last time you ever get to tell somebody how you really feel about them, I don't know, getting MS has made me way more fucking emotional than I used to be. I don't cry, though. That's still not, like, my dad died and I didn't even cry. Everybody's like, you know what I'm saying, well, you ain't crying? I'm like, he was fucking 84, you know? Shit, he was going to die someday. Fuck, he can't live forever. Which I don't know, with this new technology that they coming out with, we might be able to.
It might pretty soon, right?
Which will suck, because then we'll definitely have to have wars to kill people. People are just going to have to kill people to thin the population of the planet. Could you imagine this motherfucker being like fucking Coruscant with 1 trillion people on this motherfucker?
Dude. It'd be crazy.
Christ. like
I don't like living in a big city like that, so I couldn't do it.
It's crazy. I didn't think, because I lived in LA, and then I lived in Colorado, and then Chicago, and then here. Well, Chicago, then back to Denver, and then and then we moved here. I didn't ever think I would like not living in a big city. I like not living in a big city. There's only like 150,000 people here. Shit.
Living in a big city, just...
Yeah, I thought I was going to miss being able to... The only thing I miss is, like, just being able to go get shit. And I miss the fact that, what I'm saying, there was, like, 50 billion fucking Star Wars, groups and shit always going on in Denver about Star Wars. And here, like, I don't think there's no Star Wars fans. Like, literally, I'll see, like, a person with a sticker every 6 months. Or a bumper sticker on a car that has something to do about Star Wars or something. There's like no Star Wars Facebook groups here, or people I can go hang out with and talk about Star Wars, or like, no, I haven't found anything. Which is crazy, because I live in a college town. You think college kids, they would be into Star Wars, at least some of them.
I'm a college kid. I'm into Star Wars.
They got a film school here, so it's like, dude, you got a film school in the college here?
Yeah. What are you teaching your students?
but none of them like George Lucas. What's wrong with y'all? Well, what are you? Your students is all gonna be idiots. But yeah, it's it just gave me a great feeling. It really did. I liked it.
Cool.
Want to get to some news and rumors?
Yeah, let's do it. I actually had some that I wanted to talk about. So
CJ, you biting at the bit, CJ? What we got for toys? All right, hold up.
Not
hit the button first. Hit the button.
Okay, we'll go fast. Sorry.
This is Alton Castle for the only news you need, the HoloNet News.
All right, we're gonna rush through the news because CJ got to go. He got some stuff that he got to do, so we're gonna rush through the news. Everybody get through the news.
Oh, we don't gotta rush. I mean, it's not gonna take much longer. You know, I just wanted to know where we were at when I messaged you, just to see like if I can make it. Because if I leave by like 1:20, I'll make it in time.
Okay.
But I just
what,
I gotta wake
there
Tori
What
up.
time is it where you are now?
It's 12:20.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta wake Tori
good.
up and see how.
I mean,
she's
I
feeling.
doubt this will go on for another hour, so we're good.
Yeah.
But no, so big news at Disney parks. They're dropping more. Not. It's hard to. I can't think of the word. Knickknacks per se, like the things you catch in the movies that people use that you kind of don't pay attention to. So you know how Luke in Battlefront 2 had the compass, and then you saw the compass in the Last Jedi on his shelf.
Oh, just like little things. Okay.
Yeah, just little things that you catch in the background. But there's one big one that they just dropped the other day. It's the Sith Wayfinder.
Okay.
And
I
it
got
comes
you.
with a kyber crystal, and it comes in this box, this fancy like Sith. It has Sith hieroglyphics on it, and Sith writing. And then when you open up the box, you get the Sith Wayfinder. It's actually really neat. And they stated that they're going to be coming out with more of these little knickknacks per se, once every month or once every other month, depending on production. You know, the production line. Which I'm excited about because I wouldn't mind having a bunch of random artifacts from a movie just laying around.
That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really cool.
Also, they are... Right now, we're obviously celebrating the Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars has a whole dedicated section, not only in the Outpost on the Downtown Disney, but in the God, I can't remember the store's name. I'm blanking everything. The trading post inside.
Oh, like inside Disneyland?
Yeah,
Okay.
they have literal walk up. It's all specialty merch that Disney has made that you cannot get anywhere else unless if it is Disney.com or at the Disneyland parks. And there is still some merch that you cannot even get on the Disney website that you have to go to the park for, which I call bullshit because if I get on eBay, I'll probably find it. But that's just me.
Well,
Or Etsy, right?
Or 2 cents on eBay and Amazon. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they were like, oh, you can only go to the park and get this. I'm like, motherfucker, give me 5 minutes on eBay. I'll find it. Try me. I do it all the time. Like,
bet, yeah.
That's really all I've got other than just
the
that.
40th
It's honestly
anniversary Star Wars figures, the remake figures. But I think you already talked about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that
okay.
they're giving us Leia, Luke.
Shit coming out for the 40th anniversary.
So
Dang,
you
it's like a
get,
fucking list.
I have the Han Solo and the Lando.
List was like fucking
and the
12
Leia.
fucking pages long. I was like, God damn.
So I have Lando on Jabba's sail barge, and then I have his Captain Calrissian outfit, and then I have Han Solo on Endor, and then I have Han Solo when he just got out of the carbonite in the beginning of the Return. Mm-hmm. And then I have Leia on Endor, and then Leia the battle outfit she wore when she got to Endor. And then I have Luke Skywalker in his black outfit, because that's all he fucking wore in Return of the Jedi. So
Right.
You
I had
next?
one.
Okay, go ahead.
I had two, yeah. So the first one, so Freddie Prinze Jr. in an interview. I don't know if you saw this, CJ, because you love him.
I saw this.
But I actually really liked it. Like, I know it sucks, but like he said he's not coming back as Kanan Jarrus. But the reason he gave, he's like, he doesn't want to dilute the character. He thinks the character's death was super impactful, and that by having him come back in a bunch of more cameos and a bunch of other series will kind of dilute the meaning of the character. And I respect that. I like that.
I agree.
That's
what
one
I
of the
didn't
things
like...
I've had a problem with. Well, it's just one of the things I've had a problem with at Disney. You keep mixing in all these characters all the time, and it makes these characters less cool to me. It makes these characters less of a big deal.
I liked that they brought Kanan in.
I like that.
I like that they brought Kanan in when he was young in the Bad Batch to show us what happened to him and why he has such a disdain for the clones and rebels. That made sense. And I liked that he was in The Rise of Skywalker as a voice cameo. But he's like, I owed favors. I just paid up all my favors. And it's like, Freddie, it's not like it's a whole season of your character. It's a moment of your character's life that still impacts that 4 seasons of Rebels? 5 seasons?
5 seasons of Rebels.
5 seasons of Rebels. And he was only, and Kanan died in season 3?
Yeah.
4? Yeah. But...
No, 4.
4, yeah, it was 4. But you can still do that. Like, if they wanted to bring Kanan back again, like, you just a slight cameo walk by with the Bad Batch or in a Clone Wars-esque styled cartoon to show him hiding.
They brought him back in live action. Say like
they don't. He refuses to go anywhere near that role in live action form. And
but I think it would be cool if he did it.
I kind of respect it, if I'm honest.
Like The Mandalorian, or not in The Mandalorian, but say in Andor. If he popped up in Andor just for a quick, you know what I'm saying, cameo, like, you know, him. I don't know. I don't think he could do it now because he would be a lot younger. But, you know, because we know he died roughly about the time period that it is. I think it would be cool, though, you know what I'm saying, just a quick, even though he said he wouldn't do it, I think it would be cool.
I respect it. I respect it because I'm a little bit like fed up with all the cameos. The cameos kind of like they do kind of dilute the character.
If it's a proper cameo, like I said with the Bad Batch, it was proper because it showed us what Caleb, now Kanan, went through and why he hated the clone so much when we saw him in Rebels when he ran into Rex, Wolves, and Gregor. Yeah. We saw that made complete sense. That was awesome. I loved that little nod. Did they need to bring Freddie Prinze Jr. to use his man voice for a teenager? No. But
I also like how he said that, you know, he was kind of forced to go back, you know, because he owed favors. And he was like, I don't like being forced to do anything, you know. I mean,
which is fair.
The article that I read says Lucasfilms forced Star Wars Rebels actors to return against their wishes. And he kind of says that, like, I really didn't want to come back. I told him I didn't want to come back and do it, and they were like, well, you need to come back and do it.
Well, when you owe a favor, when you're a man of your word and you owe a favor, you stick to it. Like if you got a favor, 10-1, he pulled a favor to be Kanan. And they're like, okay, well, we gave you this since you weren't busy. Now, can you just do it one more time for us? Which turned into 2. But he owed Dave a favor, and then he probably owed Disney a favor, and he's paid up. It's all squared up. Now his character can die in peace. The way they did it was proper. I appreciate how he did it with Bad Batch, and I appreciate how they did it in The Rise of Skywalker. They just made him say a line, and he when he talked about it, because there was a podcast he was on, he was talking about it, he's like, I thought it was ridiculous. It was the worst 3 movies, which we agree, those 3 movies sucked. But he's like, those were the worst movies that was not Star Wars, and they made me say this line. And it was like, it was very Kanan-esque line. It was a very Force user line that you said. It's not like they made you say something stupid. It was a Kanan Jarrus line, and it just made sense. And the fact that he refuses to do remotely anything with the live-action Rebels crew, I respect it. I do, because it's hard to bring a character like that, even in a flashback, back into it.
But also, like, hearing kind of his opinions and his thoughts on his character and his roles and Star Wars in general, he takes it like pretty seriously, and he treats it with reverence. And
and that's because he was the right hand actor to Dave Filoni,
right? And that's what I mean. Like, when he has that kind of reverence, like, if he doesn't want to come back into a role, I respect that because
yeah.
he's done phenomenal. He has the proper reverence for the character, for the story, and he doesn't want cheesy, stupid things coming out. And so I trust him a lot of times.
Well, and I'm never going to knock Freddie Prinze Jr. for putting his foot down because you got to think, he did 2 Scooby-Doo movies. He's done a ton of voice acting work, not only in Star Wars, but in other cartoons. They even brought him back for a cartoon for Scooby-Doo for a movie. But it's the fact that he doesn't want to do this anymore. He wants to do what he pleases. He wants to be with his wife. He wants to be with his kids. He wants to.
Right.
He made a life for himself. Him and Michelle both made a life for themselves. He doesn't need to do this anymore if he doesn't want to. We can't force him to. We can't bully him to. And I dare anybody to try. That man looks like he'd beat your ass if you tried to force him to do something. He's got a 0 fuck tolerance, and I love it.
Yeah, I love Freddie Prinze Jr. So, and then the other one I did have is Joel Edgerton. Basically tips his hat to George Lucas, and he's like, I owe so much to George Lucas and Star Wars for basically his career. He tributes a lot of his career to George Lucas giving him a shot in Star Wars, which thank God, because have you seen Warrior?
Yes.
Joel Edgerton in Warrior was, that's top 5 movie of all time.
Oh, man, hands down.
Phenomenal.
Fighting,
so good.
Out of the fighting movies, it's in my top 3.
Dude, it's one of my top 5 movies of all time. Like, it is so good. And so any opportunity for Joel Edgerton, I'm pumped. So I'm glad.
And I hope we can get.
Yeah.
I hope we can get more of Obi-Wan where we can get him back. Just because how he was as Uncle Owen at that age, I would love it. And I want Kenobi to continue because it was not an Obi-Wan and Leia story. It was supposed to be a Luke.
It was kind of a letdown. I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah. And even the parts we did get, though, I mean, the most iconic memes. Oh, like you trained Anakin? Oh, fuck.
Like,
that was brutal.
Yeah. Emotional damage.
It was amazing. And I hope, like, if they give us another... Because Ewan McGregor is so fucking outspoken about wanting to come back, wanting to do another season. I don't think Disney will deny him. I really don't. I think if you can get Dave and John on board, because Kathleen, in my opinion, don't say shit. I think if he can get the board and Bob Iger and be like, hey, this is one last story, one last season. This is the story we want to tell. Can you greenlight this for us? And I think they will. I think if Ewan pushes hard enough, he will get what he wants.
I don't know about that.
I hope.
I thought the first season was... I just didn't like it, so I don't want them to do it again.
That's fair, but we also didn't want a story with Obi-Wan and Leia. It was supposed to be Luke and the Lars family, like the Obi-Wan book. I would love to see a continuation, like if they do a season 2 of that book. Will we get the book? Probably not, but can we get something that nods to it? Possibly, if Ewan McGregor has more say in this. And we don't bring Deborah Chow in to do shit. Bring a different director.
Chow. Just don't bring in whoever the damn cameraman was.
I
and whoever
swear.
wrote that
Did
shit,
he have Parkinson's?
Don't whoever wrote the whole thing, like, make sure that you find somebody that knows what's happening in Star Wars and knows that Leia never met Obi-Wan. then that would be a lot better.
I hate it. Oh.
Now this was interesting. So in the interview, Jon Favreau teases about more Legends stories and characters becoming canon. Now there has been talks. I seen already that there was a paper release that there has been talks of a Revan movie being discussed.
Please.
So, which would fall into the first part of because they're talking a lot about the Old Republic, which I figured that they would go High Republic just because of the books and everything, but I guess they're doing good enough with the High Republic that they don't feel that they need to do more. But there is talks of some Old Republic stuff happening. Two of the names that were brought up was Darth Malgus and Revan. So, in this paper. Now, I don't know where this paper came from. It was leaked on Reddit, so it was like, oh, shit.
So who knows?
But for Jon Favreau to come out and, you know, as being one of the major voices of Disney and say that, you know, and tease, just even talk about more Legends characters and stories coming to canon, I think that that might be a very good hint. Now, this is all rumors at this point because, you know, just because Jon Favreau, for all we know, next week Jon Favreau might not have a job because we don't know what the hell's happening at Disney anymore.
Jeez.
But it's exciting anyway. And then the other one that I had was that's all I had. But you took my.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. That's why I told you to go ahead because I figured somebody was going. I figured it was going to be CJ that brought up Freddie
Prinze Jr. I was excited when I saw that. I was like, "Let's go!"
And also, I know how big of a fan CJ is of.
I know. That's why I was like, "What?" I was like surprised he didn't bring it up.
Well, you said you had some stuff. There's a lot of reasons why I don't bring certain things up.
No, I feel like CJ knew I was excited about it too.
So the second I saw you get giddy, I was like, the second I saw you get a little giddy about it, I'm like, he's probably going to say something about Freddie Prinze because I watched that whole interview and I get it.
It's nice enough to let me have it.
Oh, yeah. I got to share. I'm not Tory. I'm not going to run the whole news sector. The 40 million articles later. I love her to death for it, though. I swear, she's such a fucking whiz on that phone and the computer. It's not a joke.
Yeah,
she be knowing a lot of shit. She be finding out a lot of shit.
Oh man, it's scary how fast she fucking finds it.
Y'all ready for the quiz?
Let's get it.
Ready?
Yeah, already, dude. We're good.
Hit the button.
Stop right there, you rebel scum. Prepare yourself for the Star Wars Impossible quiz. Blast them.
All right. Question number 1. In one of the episodes of Vision Season 2, there is an Easter egg of great importance. What is the Easter egg and why is this so important?
In episode 2, you said?
No, in one of the episodes.
Oh, I'm sorry. In one of the episodes.
That doesn't narrow it down because I could probably spot Easter eggs in other episodes.
Yeah, but this one is great importance. Listen to the question. In one of the episodes of Vision Season 2, there's an Easter egg of great importance. What is the Easter egg and why is it so important?
The Wedge Antilles thing?
Nope.
Holocron?
It's in that episode, though.
Oh, it was the shot. Oh, okay. The Wookiees don't speak English. What?
Well, I mean, he kind of got it. He said a lightsaber. Luke's lost lightsaber is in the in the little shot.
In the what?
And it explains where Maz got it from. She bought
really?
it from that shop. Yep.
Interesting. I'll have to rewatch that because I completely missed that.
I bet you if like Luke tracked down the history of his lightsaber, he'd be so fucking pissed.
Okay.
It's not a knick-knack. It's a family heirloom.
It's not a paperweight.
It says, which episode was it in and where was it at? It was in I Am Your Mother, and it was at the gift shop in Hannah City. Because it says that on the sign.
Interesting.
What was sitting right beside the lightsaber?
Oh, my God. I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't even remember the lightsaber. A flux capacitor.
No.
A clone helmet.
Thermal detonator.
Nope. Come on, Chris.
A blaster.
J-Dog said blue milk. Nope. A teacup. Nope. It was Luke's severed hand.
Oh, my God. Are you serious? I didn't see that at all.
It's Luke's severed hand. I seen it the 4th time I watched it. Yeah.
A lightsaber.
Wow, Chris.
You've been watching too many of my TikToks. Yeah, it's Luke's severed hand is sitting there, and then it's Luke Skywalker, and then there's actually a sign that says Luke Skywalker memorabilia.
Jeez. I'm gonna have to rewatch that now.
And there's like several signs up that says Luke or Skywalker memorabilia in the building. In the Bandits of Golak plays homage to a Star Wars: The Clone War plays homage to Star Wars: The Clone Wars. At 2 separate points, the episode refers to one of the series' most memorable original Jedi's characters. Who was that character?
Aladdin.
Kit Fisto.
No.
Plo Koon.
No.
Ahsoka.
Those aren't Clone Wars original characters, though.
Yeah, they were all in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but they're not. You said Clone Wars original characters. So that means they come from Clone Wars and they didn't come from anywhere else.
Yeah. Well,
Ahsoka did.
So Ahsoka might be, but Kit Fisto wouldn't.
Plo Koon and them was after, because the Clone Wars came out after the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Is it the short guy with the scratch on his face that they saved from the Citadel?
Dude, I have
It's
no
the episode
idea.
where Echo dies?
No, it's not.
Okay. I was like, I could keep going in the description. I can't remember his name. Is it the one that got shot in the head by Tup? That led to the chip malfunction?
It's the douchebag that CJ doesn't like that killed all the clones.
Oh, Pong Krell.
Nope.
Oh.
Okay.
Such
I'm
anger.
done.
I'm sorry.
Jedi
Fucking
Master
hate that
Terra Sanuba.
Yeah, sorry.
The old guy that helps Ahsoka get his...
Oh, we see
her
him in
lightsaber
Obi-Wan.
back. And we seen him in Obi-Wan, yep. You actually see him on the train, and then you see 2 of them walking by in one of the scenes. You see 2 of that character. But they all look just exactly like him, but it's his species. So that was the... What was the second nod in the episode to the Jedi Master Terra Sanu, however you say his name?
Patience.
Oh,
Lost
Yeah,
lightsaber.
no idea.
no.
Ahsoka.
Jafar.
A
His
speeder
favorite
bike.
movie was Aladdin. His favorite movie was Aladdin, so.
Arabian
Come on, Chris.
Nights.
Where you at, dear Chris? I need you to help them answer this one.
Yeah, dude, I'm struggling.
Yep. Chris got it. Kane lightsaber. His lightsaber was hidden in
I
his
said a
cane.
lightsaber.
You said a lightsaber. You
yeah,
said
yeah,
the
yeah.
Kane
This is
lightsaber.
Kane lightsaber. That's pretty specific.
Yeah, the
Whatever.
older lady was walking with her lightsaber, and when she pulled the cane apart, it was two lightsabers. Okay, that was all the ones that I had for Visions, because there wasn't that much in Visions.
Oh, thank
but that's all
goodness.
cool shit that happened in Visions that was nods to Star Wars that like we didn't catch at first.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't catch that.
What Sith Lord's temple mimicked the design of the temple of Kyber on Jeddah?
Vader.
Yep, it's Darth Vader.
Wow.
Because his castle on Mustafar is very similar.
It is almost exact identical
Oh,
to
yeah.
the temple on Jeddah.
Woohoo,
Jeddah City
there's a
is
point.
also known as the holy city on the planet of Jeddah. But it had another name. What was its other name?
Mecca.
Mecca.
The Holy Mecca? The Force Mecca?
I don't know.
Mecca? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea. There's no.
The librarian.
Repeat the question.
It's Jeddah. N-I Jeddah.
What the? It's the same thing.
Oh, jeez.
Talk about a trick question. Damn.
That's why it says Star Wars Impossible quiz. It's not the Star Wars.
That was loaded
easy-ass
as hell.
quiz. During the Battle of Yavin, 3 individuals joined Princess Leia in monitoring the battle against the Death Star. Who were those individuals?
Mon Mothma. Oh, shit.
During
Wasn't
the battle of
Akbar. Admiral Akbar. Mon Mothma. Oh!
I'm just gonna tell
General
you no.
Yularen?
No to all of them.
Well, you know what? Fuck off. You can't let me sit there and
Wait,
say these thinking I'm getting
repeat
them.
the question.
Scene in the
Repeat the
movie, they're
question.
all standing around a little fucking circle thing.
Oh.
Ed, and Eddie. They're
Yeah.
all standing there around the thing as it's happening.
Mon Mothma's not there?
Nope.
I thought Mon Mothma was standing around.
Nope.
Lando
repeat-
wasn't
In
there.
the same room, but they weren't all standing with Princess Leia and around the thing monitoring and
It's that white guy with the black hair.
what's his name?
I don't know. He's a white guy with black hair.
The blonde guy that looks like he has a toupee on.
All right, y'all ain't gonna get this. Commander Bob Hutzel, General Jan Dudana,
Yeah.
and C-3PO.
Exactly. That's what I said. The
yeah,
guy
I
with the
said
black
those.
hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mon
We all
Mothma's as
know
bougie
that
as
the Death
3PO. I
Star-
mean,
Okay, question number 9. We all know that the Death Star had a really big laser that could destroy a whole planet. Does anybody know what the name of that laser was?
it's a
The laser
fucking
had a name.
laser.
Gorlog the
It had a
Destroyer.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Garrison?
I said Gorlog the Destroyer.
No.
I love the nothing.
Chris said Kyber Cannon 8000. That would have been a good name, no?
The
That's not
Planet Slayer 3000. Vader named it after his lightsaber.
Planet Slayer 3000. Kind of right. Close.
Planet Killer.
Oh, close though. Close. Dun, 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 dun,
AR-15.
dun, dun, dun. Called the Planet Buster.
No, it's
That was
not. That is
so dumb. No friggin' way.
That was the
Come
name
on
of it.
down to Home Depot and get yourself a Planet Buster. Lifetime warranty. If it doesn't bust a planet,
Okay.
you'll get your money back guaranteed.
It was actually named a Planet Buster.
That's so stupid.
And, and I cross-referenced it on 3 different encyclopedias. They all say the same thing.
What the hell?
Yep. After Alderaan is destroyed by the Death Star, Darth Vader collects a rock from the debris and gives it to someone to remind them that the Empire does not. What the Empire does to those who resist.
Oh, I was
Who
like,
did he give
the
it to?
Empire does not fuck around.
Who does he give it to?
Leia?
No.
Luke?
Watched it blow up. Well, why would he need to give her a rock? She viewed it happening.
To rub it in?
Here you go, daughter. Here, take this rock of your fucked up planet.
All right. Repeat the question from the beginning.
Yeah,
There
one
might
more
be more
time.
clues.
After Alderaan is destroyed by the
Yes.
Death Star, Darth Vader collects a rock from the debris and gives it to someone to remind them of what the Empire does to those who resist. Who did he give it to?
Lando.
Bail Organa.
Nope.
Not Lando?
Nope.
It seems like
Not
so.
Star Killer, not Ben.
Bail Organa.
Nope. Wasn't Bail Organa dead? Wasn't he on the planet when it got blown up?
Shit happens. I mean, he could have been off on a vacation.
Han. No, not Han Solo.
Stat Saber.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Flipping. I don't know.
All right,
He gave
I
it to
want
the
that.
Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really wants to. This is what happens if you resist you.
If you resist yourself.
Queen
Channel
Trio of the Shu Torin.
What?
Huh.
Yep.
Neat.
Queen Trio of the Shu Torin.
All right.
And that actually happened in a comic book because I had to look that up. I was like, what
I
the
figured.
fuck? Who the hell is this bitch? I ain't never even heard of this bitch. But that's the questions for this episode.
Thank goodness.
So,
that was a tough one.
I got 1 point.
Yes. What's up?
What's happening for next Sunday? Because you were supposed to find out.
Yes. So I will be back next Sunday. We come back Saturday, so I will be good.
All right. So, CJ, are you available on what date is that? The 23rd?
Of next week.
21st?
Next
Sunday,
weekend?
so we can do the watch party. Are you going
So
to be available?
this week I will be on call for work. So I don't know.
You don't know about Sunday?
I don't know about Sunday. Yeah, because I'm on call from Monday to Sunday.
Okay. What about the 28th? So we got to do it by the end of the month. That'll be the last Sunday of the month.
28th would be good.
Okay. 28th works for me. So
All right. So the next watch party for what is it? Solo, right? Solo is the next one in the
Yeah, Solo,
yeah,
and then it goes Rogue One.
Yep. So we will be watching Solo on the 28th So the 28th, we will be watching Solo. Everybody that listens to us on Spotify and stuff, all the episodes are up to date now on Spotify since Adobe sent me the fix for the thing. And I was able to get all the episodes done and up on Spotify now. And this one will be out tomorrow morning. So everything's up to date on the Spotify and all the other podcast platforms because I upload it on Spotify. Spotify puts it on everything else. So all we care about is Spotify at this point. Let's see. Do we have any other news? Anything else coming up that we know about?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. So I think that'll be it for today. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and the bell notifications to stay up to date, which is not working from what people are telling me on YouTube. So fuck you, YouTube, for not getting our shit out to people. But other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and may the force be with you. Stay outrageous.
Make good choices.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.